Welcome to Nomad at Night, starring the one and only Nomad.
Yo, welcome to Super Nomaniac Lounge for the Super Nomaniac members of the network, man. And this is a pre-Halloween special for you guys. So hope you guys enjoy the digs, the background, the artwork, and all that kind of stuff before we bring everybody on. And yeah, I think what we're going to be talking about tonight for the large part of the show is definitely going to be, what went wrong in the Washington game. It's a lot of bad juju out there when it comes to that, man. I mean, I'm sitting here watching social media, my feed, and just watching in general. And man, the way I set this thumbnail up was the boogeyman is getting closer. And what did I mean by that? Talking about flus and poles. For the first time, I think since Justin came out last year and he had some words to say about, I think that he was in response to one of the reporters asking him, are you down with the way you're being used and how Luke Getsy is using you in this offense? And when he kind of bit his tongue at first, but then ended up letting it fly, I feel like we're at that place, but maybe slightly worse, man, because now people are starting to question not only Flus, big time. Now you're starting to see the players. So it's not just one guy. I seen Jaylon Johnson has some choice question marks put beside Flus's name. DJ, there's some things being said. Cole has said some things, and so what the question marks that surrounding this team, and I don't know that it could be coming at a worse time. We getting ready to run into a slate of games that is like a murderer's row of football games for you talking about division rivals, you talking about some really tough teams, and for them to have the letdown that they had last week, and for a lot of coaching reasons, for them to have that go on and then consecutively be looking at this slate of games that they got coming up next, it's not looking good unless they can turn in some top tier performances. We might be looking at a tough situation. I'm hoping for the best. I'm feeling like they can come through this. If they can come together as a team, and what happened last week and, some of the question marks put beside Flus's name doesn't turn into spillover into the locker room and starts to fracture things. But man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Some of the stuff I've been looking at a lot of media, the Bears press conferences, you can tell people are on eggshells right now. And they're gonna need to play well, number one. Number two, they're gonna need to, this team is gonna need to get into the playoffs in order for this regime to be safe, at least Flus, I think. And so we're going to bring the fellas on right now. My guy, the Canuck, is here right now. And before you get all the way into it, let's give out some pleasantries for the people you see in the chat.
All right. So Halloween horrified episode of extra sauce. Big shout outs to all the no maniacs that's out there, super no maniacs and all. Man love to Mo Fugra, our guys out there. Marlon Johnson, shout outs to you, dog. Joseph Archer, the Nodge is with us for sure, folks. Hey, listen, it was a bit of it was horrifying. So trick or treat looks like looks like we got tricked. Looks like we got tricked this past weekend. And Washington was treated to a win. We'll get a little bit deeper into the nuts and bolts of all of that. But before I do, let's bring in the homie. Oh my God!
What up, Trip?
Yeah, it's Trip. Like, bro, Triple R couldn't make it. And Chef Trips, he fell into like a little piece that he met in Hawaii. And Coach Trippin's busy, so y'all got me tonight, bro.
I gotta get you to change your name in your title. Call yourself Trip Voorhees.
Bro.
Trip Voorhees on their ass.
Voorhees in the building. Look at this.
But
right.
yeah, again, man, happy Halloween Eve. Hallows Eve is what they call it, right, kids? Hallows Eve.
It's actually All's Hallows Eve.
All's
Hallows Eve. That's what it originally was.
ALLS Hallows Eve, right?
Day after All Saints Day, or day before All Saints Day. Yeah,
well, I'm glad Minister Charles is here right now, because that's almost like a sacrilegious kind of thing, isn't it?
Well, it's a fictionally constructed non-holiday where we celebrate absolutely nothing, and then we hand out candy to children. It's completely manufactured, so I'm not sure if we can call it sacrilegious, but it's definitely not religious.
Hey, Trip, whatever you do, don't go in the kitchen and get no knife, man. You get a kick dead the fuck off YouTube. Whatever you do. But hey, man, I love that mask, man. What's that? What's on that shirt? Let me get him back in here. What's that on the shirt? He's got the Papa Shango thing, and that's Svengoolie, right?
Yes, it is, bro. Shouts out Lincoln.
Loving it, man. Always can count on Trip to play into the role, man.
See,
like if you guys can't tell right now, and by the way, man, everybody shout out to you guys, man. What we sipping on this Hallows Eve, man. And also, if you can't tell that for whatever reason, Halloween has always been a special time of the year for me. I think it's because I had one of my uncles, man. I grew up with my uncles, man. They're like my brothers. And one of them was a real horror person. And he used to constantly watch horror films. And when I was a little bitty boy, he kind of broke me into the spirit of that. Scared the living shit out of me. And ever since then, man, I've been a horror junkie. So this time of year, I like this better than Christmas, better than Thanksgiving, all that shit. I just like spooky stuff. You know what I mean? So you could tell with the emphasis I put on this, man, I really get into this, man. And this is fun to me, man. So we don't really have a script tonight. We just came here to kick it with the No Maniacs, Super No Maniacs. And we're going to talk about some bears, man. Trips and I actually, let's get started with last week. Me and him I wouldn't say it's a back and forth with you, Trip, what we was talking about on Twitter. We just had a different way of thinking when it came to the big elephant in the room right now is Tyrique Stevenson and what to do about him. How about this? I'll just let Trips get his point of view out there first before I speak mine.
It's like, bro, he's a very talented player and everything. And coming out of the U, he like his emotions to get the best of him. And yeah, he was out of position like during the Washington game because he was like looking at the crowd and not paying attention. And then he batted the ball up instead of letting like Dirty Bird Byron intercept it instead of batting the ball down. And then it's like he apologized and shit. And it's like, yeah, whatever. But But it's like I was saying that he should at least have to sit on the bench, like for the first half at least. And Nomad was saying that, well, fine, ought to do it. And it's like, bro, okay, so he doesn't get to get a new piece of blame, like they did. But it's like, I think it would be more like for his playerhood, his manhood, knowing that he's healthy and having to watch his teammates play, and he's not out there because he keeps fucking up.
All right. You next time when you talk, you might have to slide that mask up a little bit. I think it might have been messing with the audio. But so Trip basically said, let me repeat just in case anybody didn't get it. He felt like, he felt like the best way to address that situation was to kind of bench Tyrique for this game. And, him watching his teammates play was going to probably get the best of him under the circumstances. Me, I come at it from a different way. Number one, you got to remember there's a competition in front of them, and you weaken your team if you don't have your best players out here. Like, we can't afford, like Flus and them can't afford to lose to this team after something like that, man. I don't think with the slate of games that we have in front of us, I think it's just flat out we can. Now, if he'd have punched somebody or some shit like that, and Flus, and he's got a history of doing stuff like that and costing a team, I get that. Damn, you damn sure bench him for that. But for something like that, with just boneheaded and just not being locked into what you do, you celebrate it too early. For me, it's just, I think just knowing some guys that played in the NFL, some friends of mine, that's the shit that bugs them the most, is when, especially somebody on a rookie contract. Them dudes ain't making a hell of a lot of money. Their cost of living is fairly expensive in the Lake Forest area. You know what I mean? So, and of course, you got everybody peeling at them for, $5,000 for this, $2,000 for that. It's not like they got a whole hell of a lot of money in the bank account. Like a $2,500 to $5,000 fine for Tyrique Stevenson is going to hurt him. You know what I mean? So to me, that's how, when you got paid players, that's how you get back at them. You hit them in the pocketbook, hit them in the wallet, and I think you have a conversation with the leadership, and you move on and say, hey man, moving forward, you have any more situations like that, and where you losing your focus and you're not locked in for the whole 60 minutes, man, your spot up for grabs, man. We can't have that shit. And to me, that's how you deal with it, kids. But let's get your point of view on how you saw that whole thing.
Okay, so I'm not really in favor of being punitive of him at all. And to be honest with you, I wasn't until you just kind of talked me into it. Like, you literally did. You said, if you like punch the guy in the face, yeah. Well, he didn't punch a guy in the face, but he definitely took his finger and poked the dude in the face, right? So, I was with you up until you said that, and right then and there, I had to stop and kind of recognize that maybe there should be some sort of punitive measures for Tyrique Stevenson. But and here's my problem. Where my headspace is, and what I've done all week here is listen to to different folks talk about the situation. Everybody's mad at Tyrique for being just off game, and a bit of a problem this past this past game. Tyrique should never have been in that position at all, and that's my problem. He should never have been allowed to be put in a position like that. They have coaches. This is what coaches are for. And everybody's too busy right now pointing the finger at poor Tyrique.
Well, you gotta let me get there, because I just want to see
this game should have been won a minute and a half before, right? Like a minute and a half before, this game should have been over.
I just wanted to see where your mind was as far as would you take to.
My mind is squarely on Matt Eberflus and Matt Eberflus alone, and I don't think anything good comes about this, whether he punishes Tyrique or not. The upside for punishing Tyrique is that at least he doesn't look like a hypocrite. He does like the hits principle is kind of saved if you punish Tyrique in some capacity. And that doesn't necessarily mean that he has to sit the game. I'm kind of with you. Hit his pocket because like Tyrique's a great player. And under normal pretenses, he's out there playing well and he tries to check himself. This game, again, he just went like, it's kind of funny, y'all. Whole bunch of like, they reverted to doing weird stuff this game, right? So Tyrique himself just reverted back to rookie Tyrique. And that's what we got. We got rookie Tyrique this Sunday. We also got like Gerald Everett over Cole Kmet this Sunday. A little bit of a different conversation, but
yeah,
we kind of just reverted back into the last couple of weeks and the problems we originally had. Offensive line all of a sudden is down because Braxton goes down, and now everything's sideways. And that's fine as far as I'm concerned. If we're going to lose the game because the offensive line is sideways, sure. But how about the fact that nobody is talking about the challenge play that was never like the reception that was never challenged? It was just straight up incompletion. The ball's on the ground. And he allowed Jayden Daniels to run up there, start it all up. Bro, call the timeout. Challenge the play, bro. What are you doing?
You got 3 timeouts.
This game should have been over with there, right? Like, this game should have been over with at 3 different intervals that are all well within Matt Eberflus's purview. So everybody's still going like, Tyrique was a bad guy. He screwed up on this play. And I get it. He did. But Matt still saved 3 bloody timeouts and could have called a timeout there.
Wait, but also, like, Kedz,
yeah, bro.
Don't forget the handoff on the goal line to the backup offensive lineman that doesn't carry the ball. And that, like, bro, that costs touchdown right there.
There's another area where you could have won this football contest, right? Like, you could have won the game there by putting up an additional score. Instead, you got super cute. And unfortunately, you know, when the noise comes through the headphones, like at some point you might want to be like, wait a minute, though. No. We're not passing here. How about that one? Like a little bit later in the game, we're not passing here. We're gonna work the clock down. We're gonna give Washington as little time as humanly possible to do this thing if that's where we're at. But how about we give the ball to a running back? Like, you know how many
well, hold on, Kedz, before you go
DJ,
down.
hold on, before I stop. DJ Moore, Gerald Everett, and there's one other player, and I'm blanking out on who it is, but they have the same amount of rushes in this past game as Roschon Johnson did. And that's a bloody crime, y'all. Oh, the other player is the it's Kramer who fumbled.
Well, before I wasn't ready to go down that road. Kedz gets mad at me. I know we free balling it right now on some extra sauce. It's a Halloween special, but I was gonna tee all that up. I was starting with Tyrique to get that out in the open, just to see, you know, if anybody felt punitive, you know what I mean? Like, or what kind of punitive do you feel?
I think your idea is actually really good because you don't want to hurt the team in the process, right? You don't want to hurt the team in the process and potentially jeopardize a game by benching Tyrique. Tyrique's really good. Like, there's no two ways about this. Tyrique's a fantastic cornerback. Under normal pretense.
And you can't forget Kedz and Trip. You can't forget we already got Kyler and Jaquan out. You know what I mean? You can't forget that. You know what I mean? Now you're talking about running to a slate of games. And by the way, the Cardinals are playing lights the fuck out right now. Lights the fuck out. Kyler Murray probably looked the best I've seen him looking at that tape. That's probably the best I've seen him in a couple of years. The best I've seen him in a couple of years, and he's warming up. He's finally starting to gel with Marvin Harrison. And now you're talking about an explosive offense. He threw for well over 300 yards. I mean, it looked good. And now you're already a weakened defense. I'm good with Josh Blackwell, and I'm good with what's the other Elijah Hicks back there. But there's nothing like having your starters out there and the continuity that comes with that. Yes, those guys do know how to play, and they're comfortable with playing them because they've been here 3 years and they know what the fuck they're doing. But at the same time, you're gonna remove one more guy, one of your starters out because everybody wants to see him sitting in the principal's office. I don't know if that's the best fucking thing to do.
No, I actually fully agree with you. In my opinion, you dock him a game's pay. Basically, he's playing for free this Sunday, and he goes and he makes up for what he did last Sunday. I think that's a great answer to the great solution over and above. This way, accountability is had, and away we go. But end of the day, the issue has been completely skewed for me. Everybody zeroed in on Tyrique. Tyrique's bloody famous. They're talking about Tyrique on every sports show in the world. There's nothing wrong with Tyrique Stevenson, y'all. Tyrique Stevenson is a badass cornerback, and he'll prove it. He has in the past, and he will. Like there's no two ways about this. Michael Irvin's clowning Tyrique Stevenson. Well, Mike, straight up and down, he's a badass cornerback, bro. Real talk. Real talk. He's covering number one wide receivers on a weekly basis. Jaylon Johnson's chilling.
He just basically, guys, he just prematurely got unlocked. So you guys stay in locked until there's no time left on the clock. Until you see all zeros, you can't be fucking off. You got to stay locked in because anything can happen in between them numbers. I'm just not ready to crucify the kid. You know what I mean? He has made some bad mistakes. I get what Trips is talking about earlier in the game, and I want to talk about that before we switch subjects real quick. Now, that particular play, when he put his finger in his face, no ref calls that fucking flag. That happens all the fucking time. The ref had no role in that play but to go in there, split them up, and be like, hey, man, y'all cut that bullshit out. Keep your fucking finger out his face, and that's it. You just split them two motherfuckers up. You don't throw a flag on that. You don't.
No. You can push and shove.
Technically, can he do it? But is it the right thing
to get to the helmet area? It's a flag. And we've seen it all the time. I can't sit here and yell at the refs for that one. Tyrique should know better than that. You know what I mean? Like there's no. I can't stick up for Tyrique here, and I'm not going to.
Yes, that's the ref inserting himself in the banter.
But that's what refs do. That's what the referees are for.
Listen, kids, but some stuff doesn't warrant a flag. If I could tell you how many times I've seen that happen during the course of a game, during one course of one fucking game, not just the entire season. I'm talking about one fucking game. See, like that shit happens like after damn near every play, but the camera just doesn't catch it all the time.
Let me just say one thing here with respect to that. The laundry list of Chicago Bears players who have been flagged for doing that exact thing is miles long.
It's a stupid call, man.
Anthony Miller. You know what I mean? Like there's a laundry list of players who put their Bears players specifically. Screw the rest of the NFL. In Chicago, you put your finger in somebody's face, you are getting a flag almost guaranteed.
Hey, kids, I'm going to tell you from experience a couple times. This I've seen this in college and in high school. One time, I definitely told a ref, and this was almost the exact same situation, but it was just you had hands and faces and wasn't nobody spitting or hitting or trying to kick, and the ref got in the middle of it, and I was just like, ref, hey, you stay out of that, man. Stay out of that. We got this. Don't even worry about that. He said, you sure? He said, y'all better take care of it then. That's a cool ref that understands that we can legislate each other. You know what I'm saying? You got leaders on the team that's going to make sure ain't nothing crazy going to happen. That's the ref inserting himself in a situation he doesn't necessarily need to be in.
But bro, remember the Pittsburgh game last season?
Oh, that was crazy. You talking about when he spin kick?
No. I was trying not to talk about Cassius Marsh today, bro. Yeah, I was trying not to talk about Cassius Marsh. Period. If you play for the Chicago Bears and you put your hands in the face of the other player, you will be receiving laundry. There will be a flag. There's no skirting this. Historically proven facts. Challenge me on, like, throw the challenge for me on this one. I guarantee I win the challenge.
Okay, well, no, don't worry about it. Bro, Flus ain't throwing the challenge flag. It's all good.
Here's a trip. Here's a trip. Let me ask y'all. All right, I'm gonna put it in this. I'm gonna frame it up to you like this. All right. Outside of this, take the Bears Packers out of it. Tell me what you think the most hotly contested matchup in the NFL is. There's gonna be some bullshit going on. Like for me coming up, it was always watching the Steelers and Ravens or something. You know what I mean? You get to thinking about a game like that. Those motherfuckers are out there trying to murder each other. And so basically what I'm trying to get at is, what good would a ref do by throwing a flag every time these motherfuckers get up off a pile and start talking shit to each other and getting in each other's face? If you're gonna throw a flag on one, you're gonna throw a flag like 60 times a game.
But that, like, you I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, and I in my heart of hearts, I agree fully with what you're saying. But historical fact proves the opposite. Never. Here's another awesome, for instance. Like, we can have this conversation forever, bro. So Justin Fields at the opposite of this went 3 solid years, 3 years with Chicago, 4, without getting a single roughing the passer call. No calls, mainly because he's a Bear.
Okay, where are you going with this? Because I'm confused.
I'm just saying that by way of, if we're expecting any level of favor from the referees in the NFL, traditionally, we ain't getting the damn favor. We're not getting the benefit of the doubt by way of refereeing. We will get a flag for a dude doing a spinning kick. You know what I'm saying? Traditionally. What? So I'm not going to go by way of refereeing and protecting Tyrique via that means. He should know better. We will get the flag, yo. Like, Anthony Miller got the flag.
He shouldn't have put his hand inside the face mask.
He should know better.
But golly, ref, you can be like, hey man, y'all bust that shit up. Split the fuck up, man. Cut that shit out. Tyrique gonna do that no more. And then let that be over with. Throw a flag there. He's inserting himself into a situation that didn't require him to.
But now, since we're talking about kind of the refs, what about on the Hail Mary, like when they don't call holding? Or when they don't call like the crackback block?
Oh yeah. More crazy evidence. There is some Bears tax that's legit and for real by way of refereeing. And I think we all just kind of have to, admit that or understand it and believe that it's true. It's factual. There was a clear block in the back, guys. Right on the Hail Mary, there's a clear.
Well, let me
before he throws the ball, it's on national television.
Well, since we're done with the Tyrique conversation, it seems like, let me tee up where y'all obviously want to go, and that's talking about the plays prior to the Hail Mary. There's some decisions that got made or didn't get made during that few second span. I'm talking about the opportunity to see the setup, see how they were going to be set up. You sitting up there with 3 timeouts in your pocket. You see the way they're setting up. Okay, let me make sure I got this right. Even if you don't really need it, you go ahead and burn that fucking timeout. You burn that timeout, get everybody to the sideline. Hey, make sure we got this covered, that covered, blah, blah, blah. We good on that. You're going to box out this person, that person. Or we talking about before the Hail Mary. So the decision, it was a hurry-up situation. So apparently the way I heard it, Kedz and Trips, was Jaylon Johnson, they were in between. They were coming into the second to last play. And so the call came. They got the call from the sidelines, and they got set up in kind of a off coverage. And they was like too far off the ball. And Jaylon apparently was yelling at Flus on the sidelines, like, hey, man, maybe you call a timeout, man. We need to tighten up the coverage here a little bit. And apparently that didn't happen. Flus just ran the play and gave him a free 15 fucking yards, right?
So let me straighten you out, right? So the play before that play, they actually protected the sideline. Then they changed it and decided not to protect the sideline. So there is actually an argument between Jaylon Johnson and Matt Eberflus on the sideline. At some point, if you're watching, Caleb Williams goes running over to Matt Eberflus and is like, "Get off the field! They're gonna snap." So he goes running off the field. They instantly get the 12 yards. Why? Because nobody's protecting the sideline. Right? It was wide open. They backed the entire defense up, backed the entire secondary up. There's your 12, and that was the 12 that Jayden Daniels needed.
It's the like watching. I wish I had seen all of that while we were live, kids. I wasn't able to, of course, because I was telling you guys I was trying to, get set up to get to the second part of that show, the post game, and I was setting up the intro, and I didn't see pretty much none of that. I didn't get to see any of that, and that's what disappoints me is that I didn't get to see it. I would have probably whistled like a tea kettle, man, if I'd have seen that happening in real time, because I know you can't have that. Like when you see certain stuff going on, it's like when you got a certain down and distance and so much time on the clock, there's certain things you're going to have to call in order for you to keep that advantage defensively. And one of them is making sure you got the right amount of guys that's rushing the passer. Second thing is making sure you got boundaries covered on the outside and not giving too much cushion. Not seeing just two things, man, that you got to have.
What both of y'all like bros are talking about is like when the commies receiver dropped the ball, but Flus didn't challenge it, and then like calling that soft ass coverage when Tony Romo was on his telestrator and he was like, "This is what I would do," and they did that exact fucking thing, bro, that led up to the Hail Mary that allowed it to happen. This conversation is going to that dude with the head coach headset on again.
It's Trip. It's basically it's like I'm not even a coach, and don't ever try to confuse me with one. I don't care to be a coach. Could I coach? Yes. It's rookie one-on-one coaching shit that happened in that game or didn't happen in that game. Stuff you gotta. I mean, I was telling kids this during the broadcast. It's like I expected Flus to be more understood on exactly what to do because he was a player. When you're a player and you've been in those situations, you know exactly what to call when you should. But as a coach, for some reason, this guy is so fucking tight. It's like, dude, what are you thinking about out there?
And he's in year 3 of this shit too.
Yeah. So here's something else to note, right? So going into halftime, they had to defend a Hail Mary against the Washington Commanders going into halftime. And they played it completely different. They rushed one guy. They sent everybody back. So why did they do what they did the second time completely different, though?
Well, that gets into installs, man. Look, all right, so
the install for hold on. So and I'll let you clarify. So the install for defending a Hail Mary at halftime is completely different than end of game?
You can have a different prevent. It's different prevent defenses, right?
For sure.
Every prevent defense isn't made the same. So you might have your regular personnel for a prevent defense on one hand. Then you got, like I was telling you before, you may have the end of game scenario. Our prevent was called prevent tower. When you get to your receivers, we had some of our taller receivers out there on that defense.
Makes sense.
Out a corner or two or safety and just replace them just so you can get lengthier guys out there. It all depends on the situation. Like, I think we had maybe 4 prevent plays when I was in school, 4 prevent plays, and they were all made different. Some of them, like I said, some of them have your regular personnel. Some of them have you got to interchange some guys. You know, and then the front part of that prevent defense is set up different too. You might only have 3 rushers. Might only have 2. Never been in one we only have 1 rusher. You know, but that's just me. I'm not saying that it's foreign to me. I've seen it before. So it's not new to me, but calling that in, it's ridiculous though.
I'm just saying that's how they played it earlier in the game. They left 1 rusher out, dropped everybody else into coverage, knocked the ball down. Successful. I'm confused with right down to personnel on that play. Why wasn't a Count Kedz out there? He's pretty damn tall.
Hey kids, I'll tell you where I got confused.
Everett?
When I looked at the replay and I saw that Tyrique was back there BSing around and really didn't realize, you know, what the situation was, and the fans were telling him, hey man, you gotta turn around, the ball's in play. Blah, blah, blah. Before that, Tyrique was already heading that way. Flus was supposed to be having his eyes on the backside of that defense and seeing that guys wasn't aligned and burn a timeout. And
bro, I don't
shoot Tyrique Stevenson's fucking ear off. Why that didn't happen just is crazy to me.
Do they have a guy in the booth?
Of course they do.
Then, like, I can't blame Tyrique for this at all. If there's a guy in the booth staring down, watching from on high, what's going on the field?
He's a spotter.
Well, what's his job if he's not ready to went down and like do something?
Hey man, Tyrique's out of call a timeout. Tyrique's out of position. Call a timeout. I
don't know that I heard that. I heard a couple of press conferences. I don't know that I heard that question. Did you have a spotter in the booth that would have been able to notify you that Tyrique is out of alignment and call a timeout? Like even if you hear the spotter is telling the coach something in his ear, the coach still has the ultimate choice on whether he thinks it's worthy of a timeout or not. Sitting there with 3 timeouts with fucking so many seconds on the clock, I don't know why you wouldn't use it. You know, give me a good reason why not.
I'm trying to say that, like, even if Matt Eberflus didn't have eyes on the prize and didn't see Tyrique, there should be at least a process to catch stuff like that as it's happening so that he can make a proper decision in decent time. And I'm quite certain there's folks in the booth. I don't know if they told him or not. Gotta build in a process like this, Matt. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta build in a process so that you can be a bit more effective if you don't see something happening on the field. But no, like, if the guy's out of position, timeout. Like, when is there a better time to do this? Oh, I know. How about when you're challenging incomplete passes? Like, drove me crazy. Hate the fact that Tyrique's basically getting thrown under the bus. Like, yeah, he did some stuff. Yeah. But, like, that game was not lost because of Tyrique Stevenson, you know.
Hell no.
I'm just saying.
No, and I'm not saying that either. I mean, yeah, he like, bro messed up, and it kind of did cost that play, but he shouldn't have been put in that position like bro Kedz was saying. The game shouldn't have been that close to begin with, and that play shouldn't have had that high success of success, that high rate of success, even though it wasn't high, but it went higher because of the calls that led to it.
That's it.
All right, let's talk about this, man, because here's the bottom line, and I had to come here and back up first before we move forward and look at that Washington game, man, and some of the stuff that went on. The fact that you got like when I found out that he only sent 3 pass rushers and had a spy in the middle of
you spying?
He's spying.
What the hell are you spying?
He's got TJ.
Well, they said that it wasn't a spy. That beats Edwards. He was supposed to be covering the running back, but the running back stayed in the block, but he didn't like rush like he's supposed to. He just kind of hung out in the middle of the field.
This is a stupid fucking call.
Well, there's that too, bro.
You gotta try to send 5 people to minimize. That dude had 13 seconds to throw the ball. 13 seconds. Now, that all being said, that is some of the craziest shit I've ever seen. And it's the epitome of being passive and conservative when you shouldn't be passive and conservative. Get this fucking game over, get them dudes off the field, be aggressive. And has that not been what I've been arguing about for the past year and a half, 2 years since we've been on here? Is this dude has a tendency at moments when he needs to be aggressive, he takes his foot off the gas. And that's been killing us, man. I'm just gonna be dead ass honest with you. It's been absolutely killing us. And so let me get off that for a minute and talk about because 100% I believe this. We're talking about, and we're gonna have this question to pose to the Super Nomaniacs too. If that play doesn't happen and they get that Hail Mary, we're in a different space right now, aren't we, fellas? When you say so, will we be questioning the coach still? Will we be questioning Tyrique or any of that kind of stuff? I don't think so. I think we'd be like, hold on, this is a serious football team. We might have a serious, situation on our hand, and we might need to. We'd be talking about getting trade pieces so that we can make a Super Bowl push.
But bro, it's not just the end of the game. Let's go back to the beginning of the game when this team is like never ready to play.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
No, honestly, I just answer that question first. If he doesn't hit that Hail Mary, would we be in this space talking about this shit right now?
So check it out. I'll throw it over you to the Mr. Voorhees, but I definitely would be. No two ways about this, because I was completely irked by the non-challenge. I didn't understand why he didn't challenge and what the hell he's doing with these timeouts. I don't know if there's a discount, if he can trade them in like food stamps after, or maybe he can extend his cell phone plan with them. I don't know. But that irked the hell out of me. And at the end of the day, I would still be asking, what's the deal with the timeouts, doggy? What's cracking with the timeouts? So even in a win, because it's a trend.
Even in a win, if they won that game, but it goes back to it's like, all right, well, it wouldn't be like, bro, it wouldn't be like that. The fan base wouldn't be that amped up and mad. But the questions about Coach Flus's ability to get the team ready, to get his coaches on the same page and have everybody ready to go so they can start fast. They've been talking about starting fast for how long now? But bro, shit never happens. And so the other decisions about not challenging and personnel decisions, all those conversations, bro, we still be having them, but just in a win.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I know you, bro. I know you're ever the optimist, right? You're ever the optimist. You would probably not be anywhere near as irked about these things as I was. But I'm very specific. I would have asked 100%edly, what's the deal? Why didn't he challenge that play? In a win, guaranteed.
You point out our best win of the season, and I'll point out to you 15, 20 flaws. I could find the flaw even in a very good victory. You know what I mean? But I just don't believe that we would be like the fan base. I'm responding to the fan base and all the, right now, is this a trick or treat, Nomaniacs, Super Nomaniacs, and you two guys? Is Flus officially on the hot seat? Is that a trick or a treat?
That's a definite treat for the fan base and a trick for the Flus. Because in the press conference today, that look on his face was like he was shook, bro. He was shook.
Trick for the fan base, treat for Flus. I don't think Flus is on the. I don't think Flus is on the hot seat at all. I think Ryan Poles really likes this guy, and I think Ryan Poles thinks he can do no wrong, just like Ryan Poles kind of thought Velus Jones could do no wrong until last week. So
but bro, he did cut him. So eventually he comes around, Ryan Poles that is, And like, bro, it's like he's put together like a really talented roster. And how long is he gonna like watch Flus like piss us all away?
Well, definitely for the next couple of months, right? So that's in stone. I'm not sure how he did not come to that realization a couple of months ago, right? He hasn't really done anything of note as a coach. And like, let me just say this too: if Ryan Poles goes out and he gets like, good Lord above me, if he makes a trade for a big defensive end, Flus is gone. You don't need Flus.
Okay. Let me. All right. Here we go again. Now, just work with me, guys. Work with me. Trick or treat. Ryan Poles is finally starting to also see the hot seat in conjunction with Flus. Trick or treat.
It's I don't like, bro. I don't know who's a trick or who's a treat, but I know that if Ryan Poles keeps like tying his boat to the Flus, he's gonna be the trick. Because like he can't like let himself like be taken down because of his loyalties, to Flus. It's like, yo, like Flus, I love you, bro, but yeah, we got too much talent, and now like, bro, my job is on the line, so you got to go, and I'll get to like get a new a coach or something.
Yeah, 100% Trip Voorhees, bro. 100%.
Take us. Let's take your minds back for a second. Remember, kids, you guys can remember. And I don't know how many people agreed with me at that time when I was saying this, but at the end of the season, I felt like it's a 50-50 chance that Flus could be gone. And I also said that what they would do was bring in some more well-experienced coaches that would be able to be a stopgap in case the thing didn't work out between Flus and the team. Well, hold on, let me finish.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Trick or treat. Do you think that part of them bringing in Eric Washington, Thomas Brown, even you can throw Shane Waldron in that conversation as well? Eric Washington, Thomas Brown, Shane Waldron, those three guys in particular, I think I think personally, kids, I think they came to Flus at the end of the season and was like, hey man, listen, the only way we can really justify retaining you is bringing in some more qualified people, some more experienced people to kind of back you up and make this job easier for you. And so other than that, I believe that he would have been fired this offseason. I really believe so. Does anybody believe that or no?
No.
Okay.
So
you think that's a trick?
No, I think like bro, not Flus, but like Ryan Poles, he's loyal, like sometimes to a fault. And it was like, all right, Flus, your first few years, your roster was sucky because we were rebuilding. So now you get the opportunity to do it with a better roster and a rookie quarterback. But he's still making like the same rookie coach and bullshit mistakes, though.
Bro, like oh man. Sometimes with this organization, it's like a broken record. So like I've definitely said all this piece this time a year ago when I was suggesting that they go and get another coach. And I said, you don't tie it's called hitching your wagon. It's an old axiom, if you will. Wagons have been hitched. You either unhitch the wagon or and start fresh, or you have just a hodgepodge of things. So I don't expect that. Like I was racking my brain there for a minute. I was racking my brain to think of like, where's the example in the NFL of a coach that sort of was promoted up out of a messed up coaching situation and suddenly turned the team into like a Super Bowl caliber team? And the answer is that's never happened ever. I've never heard of this.
Like, bro, Flus is just that get you over coach.
Okay. I think when I say this, I believe it'll probably be 2-1 against me. So the Bears they don't have a history of doing this, letting a coach go during the season. Trick or treat. Is there any possibility that can happen this year?
Treat for Matt Eberflus, bro.
That's a trick. If you don't think they'll do it.
I said treat for Matt Eberflus. They're not going to do it.
Okay. What do you think?
Trick on Bears fans, if that's the case. But
Well,
treat from that.
I think, like, bro, the look on Flus's face when he was answering the questions today about his missteps, and he still gives like those bullshit responses, like, it's on the players. I got to look at the film. Bullshit. It's like Ryan Poles might be attached to him, but bro, President Warren, Ryan Poles' boss, is not attached to Flus.
That's exactly.
So it's like Warren might be like, "Hey, McCaskey,
your wagon.
This coach is out of here."
And maybe the GM goes too.
His ass is going too.
You see what I'm saying? Maybe the GM, those wagons have been hitched.
Tripp is going exactly where I'm going. And see, this is where I don't like. I ain't gonna say I don't like it, but I just don't look at the situation the way everybody else does. All this team does the same thing all the time. They've done this for years, that kind of mindset. And I'm like, do you realize that they have different leadership in this building? I can tell that the McCaskies have completely given the baton over to Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles. I'm telling you guys right now, if this motherfucker comes off the rails and they get the shit spanked out of them in Arizona, there's a real good chance that something could happen. I think they finally have a backup plan behind Flus in order to be able to comfortably be able to transition from Flus, and I don't think they'd miss a beat. Number one, because you got Eric Washington that can keep that defense going and probably make it a little bit better. Two, you can just leave Shane Waldron to the autonomy of the offense, and nothing changes there. I think they're in the perfect situation for the first time in Chicago Bears history. If this motherfucker comes off the rails and he completely loses that locker room, I think it's a better chance than days past that can happen this year. I'll be honest with you.
But then, bro, also now that this team has veteran leadership and they're coming out speaking against their head coach in unison, yeah, that shit's not gonna fly, bro.
It's a bad omen, ain't it?
So where we are now is a very interesting place. So again, Chicago's a weird team. They don't fire people in season. It's just how it is. So until I see it, I can't say that they're gonna do it. But yeah, they're in the perfect position to potentially do it if that's what they want to do. I think the autonomy factor may be something, like maybe Kevin Warren and Poles could pull something like that off, and it wouldn't really irk the McCaskies. But again, has never happened, so I can't co-sign it in that respect. But on the flip side, they're set up pretty well for all this, no?
But if he keeps if Flus keeps losing winnable games, it's like, well, why keep him? I mean, because you got to pay him, and it's like, all right, you can be cheap and all that, but it's like, well, if he wasn't here and we lose, what's the difference?
There's actually no difference, right? There's no difference because so when the bad play call comes from the offense, he's not going to stop it now. So if he's not here, he's still not going to stop it. And we still have the mini fridge screwing up, but Flus is kind of inconsequential if you really think about it.
Kids,
you're right.
For the first time,
he's expendable.
I've seen locker rooms be tight, and I've seen them come undone quickly, and I've seen them slowly unravel. All three.
Thanks for reeling it back there. Thank you.
What's that?
I said thanks for reeling it back there, because that's actually what I wanted to talk about next.
Well, that's because I think, to Tripps's point, man, he's picking up those indicators like I am. When you watch those pressers and you see certain stuff going on and different responses, whether it be Flus, whether it be the players, for the first time, I think this is only the second time, and this is probably worse than the whole thing that happened with Justin when he spoke out, or even the situation with Chase Claypool when he spoke out. This one is worse. Why? Because your best player on the team and probably your highest paid player on the team are saying pretty much the same things. Not only him, quietly, so is Kevin Byard. And you're starting to see even Kount Kedz, he's really measured when he talks. very measured when he talks. And they're saying there's chinks in the armor from what I'm getting out of that whole situation. And
no, they're not saying there's chinks in the armor. They're saying there's chinks in the leadership.
Okay, well,
and then that starts at the top.
I'm going to refrain from using that particular axiom as well, for the for folks out there. In any event,
bro, we say kinks, not chinks.
Trips, I love you, brother. So, like, here's the thing. So
can we say that on YouTube?
Like, I'm not sure. I was trying to avoid a Trip double down. I love it
right now.
In any event, so with respect to the locker room, so I got to give a couple of shout outs first. So Mark Grody, shout out, bro. Big shout out to you, Mark Grody. Shout out to Lawrence and the gang at 670 as well. I was just listening to something before we came on, and they sort of went through all of the the conversations, the Kevin Byard, the Jaylon Johnson, and like at one point in the Jaylon Johnson conversation, Jaylon Johnson kind of compares Matt Eberflus to Justin Fields. And I had to stop and I was like, oh, and he's like, we stick by our coach just like we stick by our quarterback. With Justin going through his situation, I stuck by Justin. He was my QB at the time. It's a different situation now. But, if we're talking about Matt Eberflus, it's similar. I'm with my coach. I back my coach. And, like, as soon as he said Justin, I was like, oh, so, like, you kind of feel like he's a guy who should probably get shipped out of here. like the quarterback did. And I was like, it's some of the things you can sort of take away from these conversations that these guys are having. So what has happened behind the scenes, y'all, is Matt Eberflus has basically gone to each one of these guys that actually spoke, that spoke a little bit this week, because most of them had speaking engagements. Cole has a show. TJ is also on a little bit after Matt Eberflus on 670. Right, like these guys were out there doing their thing. Matt went to each one of these guys, and likely it was in the leadership conversation, but Kevin Byard as well. And he was like, hey, y'all, like, I don't want you guys talking out of turn out there. Be extra measured in what you say now. So now they're not really forthwith anymore. They don't want to talk out of turn because they might get.
There's some value to that too, Kedz, because from and I'm just gonna keep it at 100, man. You guys know I always side with players. I'm a pro player. Ain't nobody surprised by that. The thing is, man, there is a certain amount of, man, keep this shit in the building. And be cool about, blame yourself before you point the finger at somebody else when you're out there, doing the beat, whatever show you got to do, whatever reporter you done committed to talking to, whatever the fuck you got going on. But it's hard to keep that tight when privately there's some frustrations. You know what I mean? Because like when I hear Kevin Byard, and Kevin Byard is about as measured and pro as I've seen a pro be. And when he's out there, saying openly, man, I had to have a talk with coach because I thought we was in the wrong coverage at the end of the game when he was talking about we're playing too far off. We need to come up and play a little more press on this situation. He didn't have no choice but to fucking listen to him because he knew what Byard said was valid. But when Byard, when I'm hearing about it and you're hearing about it, Trips is hearing about it, that's a whole different fucking thing. Because typically that's the kind of stuff that happens behind closed doors. Hold up, coach, man. This was the wrong call. This is what you say in the film room, coach. And then you get everybody behind you, coach. We'd have probably played that better up close and we'd play a little bump on this one. That's kind of how it goes in the film room. We're talking about, okay, you guys feel comfortable playing bump in this situation. Next time we'll play bump. And that's the end of it. But when you're hearing Byard say that out in the open, and when Jaylon Johnson is saying stuff that he's saying out in the open, it tells me that there's fracture going on and they're not confident in their leader. And that goes to what Tripp was just saying. The leadership, the fish rots from the top, man.
Yeah, so here's where there's no value in that. Like what you're saying has value, and that's just being respectful and sort of keeping it within, keeping the conversation in house. But how you how you keep the conversation in house as opposed to playing damage control in house is you go to the public when they're talking to you and you admit that you screwed up.
I think that's what people want, kids.
That's what you do. You don't do the other
thing. Getting the exact, I'm going to put myself in effigy in front of you guys.
But dog, let me speak to it a little bit.
I think, hold on. And I think that's what people getting it all fucked up. Because he won't give them the response that they're wanting, they're gonna go the fuck off. And everybody's going,
thank you, brother. That's the word. That's the word. The word is accountability. If we're talking about the head coach who lives and breathes the hits principle.
Always point to the play.
That's what he should He should at the very least be accountable to
what you don't know. What you don't know is what you don't know. He can go out there and be measured as he fucking wants to be in front of the media. But behind closed doors, they know if that motherfucker's accountable or not. Trust me.
That's why they're talking in the media, bro.
But at the same time, he's not doing this publicly. Publicly, he's saying, my players did not execute. So there is a disconnect. You know what I'm saying? That's the disconnect. Is it our fault or is it yours? Behind closed doors, it's your fault. We all know internally after we were led to believe that it's our fault.
Kids,
now we know it's your fault, but we can't say it's your fault.
You got to understand how he's been trained.
Web of lies.
It's like C on a multiple choice test. You're gonna get that C every fucking time. He's gonna say that just to get out of the moment.
Bullshit.
Every fucking time.
Yeah, bro, we've been hearing that shit for 3 years.
I know, but I think people are frustrated with it, Trips. But I'm telling you, ain't nothing gonna change about that. He's gonna be that.
Well, bro, let me ask you a question. Like Kedz alluded to, it's like Jaylon Johnson just got a new contract, paid much. Kmet, new contract, paid much. DJ Moore, same thing. And it's like, who's going to last the longest? Those high contract players or
Matt Eberflus?
He's definitely expendable.
If this is my point, how you lose the locker room this is the formula. You preach something and then you fucking falter on it. You backpedal on it and you become a hypocrite. That's belief. They need to believe.
Do as I say, not as I do.
It goes back to what I said, though, kids. It's one thing, the message that we're getting when we watch that dude do a presser and what's going on when he's meeting with the team, meeting in the offense, meeting on the defense, meeting in position rooms. Is he holding himself accountable in front of his guys? Is he falling on the sword back there? Until I see this team come completely apart, and God willing, that does not happen. I don't know that we have really, really anything to say, but we're not getting the answers we want publicly. And I think that's the bottom line.
And we won't.
We're not getting what we want to hear.
We're not going to. And that's how you lose. The reason I'm a little amped up about this is how you lose a team. Matt Eberflus, very simply, you just have to be forthwith. We all watch the same game. All of us. Fans, reporters, players, coaches. We all watch the same football game on a Sunday. And if you absolutely screwed up, hey man, we all live to see the next Sunday, hopefully, God willing.
So what I would have done, kids, if it was me, I go to that podium. The first thing is out of my mouth. I was like, we had some moments in that game, and I didn't put these guys in the best position that I could to make sure that we came out of this with the win. That would have been the first thing out of my mouth. I said I missed some opportunities, some timeouts, and some challenges or anything like that. I would have just went right out there and put myself flat on the sword.
Yeah,
and
man.
For whatever reason, his robotic ass responses, and we didn't execute. We didn't do this. We didn't do that.
Players.
It's very robotic, and I think that's what the fans are getting tired of. Is that same fucking zombie ass response?
That and losing.
And losing ain't fun. And the thing is, again, these are the same BS responses that we got from the old BS coaches that we got out of here. It would be refreshing if you could just be honest with us. Hey, y'all, I screwed up. I am the head coach of this team. The players play for me. I screwed up. I own this, and we'll fix it. And literally, that's all you needed to say on Sunday.
Yeah, do you know what he's doing? He's taking a page out of Mike Tomlin and Bill Belichick's handbook. They respond very vaguely to responses, to questions in the media. The difference between those two guys and him is those motherfuckers win.
Bro, both of those guys have a Super Bowl.
Right.
So, both of those guys, this guy's barely got a 50-50 record, and I'm saying that as nicely as I can. You know what I'm saying?
It's not even close to 50-50.
No, it's nowhere near 50-50. So, like, that being the case, credibility is going to be in question. Longevity is going to be in question. Just put it out there, bro. You fucked up. Everybody does. The problem for the fans, though, and the players, is if you cannot recognize when you do and admit your own fault, you're not going to learn from them, bro. If you didn't realize that was an incomplete pass and you should have thrown a flag there, bad on you, bro. If you didn't realize that you shouldn't have passed the ball, towards the end of the game, you should have ran it and tried to run the clock out, bad on you.
I just want the fans and the Super Nomaniacs. I'm not calling y'all guys fans. I'm talking about everybody watching the show, the supporters of the show, just to understand the difference between what a coach, what a player goes to the press box or in front of that podium and says, versus when he gets behind that little curtain. That's all it is in front of there. It's a curtain in front of the locker room for the most part. And when he gets behind there, he's completely unbuttoning his pants, loosening the fuck up and say, hey, that's over, ha, ha, ha. They don't really take it that serious. And so whatever you hear those motherfuckers say at the podium, for the most part, you might get a candid moment here and there when somebody's upset about something that happened and it just comes out of them at the, in front of a podium. But for the most part, this is just bullshit one-on-one that they have to deal with as players or coaches of a professional team. You got to go deal with the media when you don't fucking want to. So because you guys aren't hearing the responses that you want to hear when he stands in front of there, and you got all these people around this city, with the pitchforks, bats, and chains, ready to riot and shit, you're not going to ever really get that out of this dude. I don't know what 3 years has taught you, but it's taught me that I know he's putting up a front and making sure he doesn't throw anybody on the bus, including himself, when he gets in front of that podium. And when he goes behind the scenes, the most important interactions happen there. Fuck what he's talking about to the press. I don't give a fuck if he holds himself accountable.
But, bro, he's out there saying the players did not execute. He is throwing the players under the bus. That's the problem.
They have a problem with it. I'll have a problem with it.
Oh, do you think that they appreciate being thrown under the bus?
It might be to what Trips is saying. Maybe that's starting to spill over a little bit. And like, hey, you know what? You keep going up there talking about we didn't do what we had to do. Motherfucker, you ain't do what you had to do.
So then this is what I'm trying to explain to you, bro. So then it becomes then you lose the locker room internally.
But can't you?
How you
gonna get what you're looking for in front of?
That's fine. It's not like he doesn't have to do anything for me. What I'm saying here is that's how you fix this problem. You be you're the guy who preaches accountability left, right, and center. Simply hold yourself accountable, and everything will work out fine. There's no questions after that as to whether the players did or did not execute. In this scenario, you screwed up. Here's how you did, and we all move on. It's not the end of the world. I'm not even asking for this. But if you can provide it, I guarantee you won't lose the locker room. The players won't feel like they're being thrown under the bus because you took accountability for the things that you messed up.
Kids, let me tell you and Trip something, and I'm gonna see if you guys think this is trick or treat. If or when you see a truly combustible situation on the sideline between a player and a coach, namely flus, if you see that happen on the sideline, you see some kind of eruption going on the sidelines, to me, that's an indicator he's going to be headed out of town, trick or treat, if it gets to that level.
Well, if it blows out into the public, yeah, he gotta go. I mean, and that's a treat for the fan base and a trick for him and his lovely wife and daughters.
Yeah, I don't see that happening at all. So
I don't know that we're close to that. I do think he runs a pretty tight ship. And
but bro, just look at like in the press conferences after a loss, or like even not after the loss, but like a day or two after that, like the players were respectful, but they were telling it like they see it. Like what happens when he doesn't like throw a challenge flag or call a timeout during the game, and during the emotions of that, a player's like, bro, you bullshitting, coach, and then that's on TV. You know, it's like during the game, they can't be all respectful and shit because they're out there playing. You know, their emotions are in it. And if he does the same bullshit that he's been doing again and again and again and not taking accountability, and then it's like happens during the game, that's when it's like public sees like, oh shit, like bro, look at DJ yelling at Flus, or bro, look at JJ ignoring Flus or whatever, but Flus is gonna be involved, bro.
So let me ask you while you're at it, Trips, while you're up there, what's more likely, something combustible between two players or something combustible between the player and the coach?
Player and the coach. Because the players like got each other's backs and they're kind of talking to each other. And when they make mistakes, they talk to each other. But it's like Flus is like the same thing every goddamn week. It's like he never owns up like bro to his own mistakes. And then it's like if he says something during a game to a player, and the players are gonna be like, hey, fuck you, Flus. And then it's like, oh shit. And it's like, well, where'd that come from? And it's like, bro, it's been bubbling up for 3 years or 2 years, however long, or even like this season. I mean, even like Gizmo, like he was like, he had to tell his head coach to get back off the field before they throw a flag on you. And it's like, he's a fucking rookie quarterback, you know, telling like the coach, the like shit the coach is supposed to be telling the players. And it's like, you're letting the inmates run the asylum over here.
The inmates had to run the asylum because clearly the coach had no clue what to do in that particular situation. Inmates were like, yo, the jail's burning. You know what I mean? Like the jail's burning, the cells are burning. We need to get out of here in some. You need to help us somehow. You need to fix this problem. And you need a bunch of burnt inmates at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I want to say this too. I know I'm being, I know we're all being pretty hard on Matt Eberflus. I'm sure Nomad will say maybe he's not, but I like the guy. I think he can actually do the job that's required here. He just needs to learn how to manage football games better. I don't think it's very hard. I think all of us have a rudimentary understanding of how to manage football games. I'm not sure why he does not, and he needs to focus on that.
Cause some ass sweat, I'm sure.
Wow. And I'm just, I don't know.
In moments, it can definitely cause some ass sweat because whether you do or you don't in a given situation, you throw that flag or you don't throw a flag, use a timeout here, use a timeout there. Could it cost you later? All that kind of stuff that you play around with in your head and you think about, and you got other people giving you advice, everybody's talking to you, will cause some tension around the anus. Just telling you that right now. I can imagine that. You know, I know enough about it
it's a job. It's a full-time job, and it's a job you can, just like any other, you can get fired. You know what I'm saying? You make the wrong decision, somebody may fire us. So, I'm just saying this is a skill, this is a skill that you can acquire. This is not Chinese arithmetic, as one might say, right? Like it's not you
have to have a read and a feel for it and just be relaxed and you got to be confident and sure about what you're doing. And if you're wrong, you just be willing to, I'm willing. It's like a motherfucker, like,
but brother,
I'm gonna pat myself on the back because I've always been that guy especially when I played basketball. Always been that guy. Like I go in a huddle and I see a whole bunch of ass tightness, and I'm just like, man, fucking give me the motherfucking ball. And I take a shot.
The
I ain't scared to
conversation
take it.
when Glenn Morgan was on the show, and it was like, well, who's the alpha? You know, when you talk about Tomlin and like, bro, Belichick, they're the alpha dogs on that team. You know, the players respect that. The players may like respect Flus as a person, and it's like he's cool because he gives them like all cool fucking nicknames and shit. But like as a coach on game day, they tuning him out, bro.
Well, again, those two particular examples are guys who have baked in respect. You have a Super Bowl, you're respected for getting there and doing the darn thing. My guy hasn't won very much of anything at all. So you must maintain respect. In order to maintain respect, bro, I look over and like I hate using this example, man, but I got to do it again. If you look over in Michigan, that guy will fall on his sword as required. He will, hey y'all, I shouldn't have ran that fourth. I shouldn't have went for it on fourth. We lost. It's my bad.
I think it would do all of us some good to realize what kind of personality type we're dealing with. And I've been saying this pretty much a year into his stay here. He's not he's not going to go out there and take chances. He's going to play everything to the cuff as much as he can. That's a personality type versus someone like myself. Like, I'm letting it ride. Win or lose, and I know that the people around me going to respect me because I wasn't scared to make it, let it ride.
And you hit the word, bro. Like, I can't call cowardice a personality trait.
It is.
Cowardice is not a personality trait.
It is a personality.
Either you can, in every situation, you have a choice to be a coward or to be brave. In every situation. And in this situation, in most situations that you've laid down, he chooses the cowardice role.
So wouldn't that make it a personality trait then?
No, you can be either. You can be brave. You can choose to be brave.
Right.
Cowardice is one of those things.
He's choosing to be cowardly. So that's like a cowardly personality. So it kind of goes hand in hand a little bit.
Well, maybe it's a personality trait, but again,
they kind of go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like one of those, I always get it down to, because I can remember taking this one shot that sticks in my head. I've done a few things in my day, man, that I was able to step up and make a play for my team, whether it's football, basketball. But I can remember this one play where I just got through describing to y'all when I went in that huddle and I seen everybody else looking around at everybody else like, hey, I was like, man, give me the fucking ball. You either have that kind of personality type. That's A-type personality, man. I'm that. I'm confident, and probably some people might call it cocky, but I think some people get that confused. I think some people are a little put off by people that are really confident, and they want to be able to label them something like, you're a cocky motherfucker. No, I'm just confident. I don't give a fuck what you think. And I'll take that fucking shot. Give me the goddamn ball. And then if you don't have that kind of guy as a coach, that's gonna reverberate, man. That's gonna reverberate. Take the shot.
I'm just saying that, like, we went into cowardice. Another way of looking at it is truth versus a lie. He chose to tell a lie as opposed to simply telling the truth. And in many cases, many of us lie instead of telling the truth. I'm just saying that in this particular situation, telling the truth is how you win. It's how you win the locker room. It's how you keep your job. It's how you avoid losing the locker room. That's it. Literally that simple. Truth versus lie.
If you were in my mind,
trick or treat,
and you were watching how everything is playing out, it'd be pretty easy for you to detect that this guy right here, he's so, I think he prepares so much that he probably over prepares. He's got that, I'm checking every single box. I'm gonna do everything in routine. I'm gonna have me a bagel this morning. I'm gonna have the same brand of coffee that I'm not gonna take one extra step that I don't take on a normal base. He is a regiment-based guy. And I think he learned that from his predecessors. And what that's doing is he's pretty nip-tucked. And for that kind of guy, I can't imagine him trying to run the defense, be the head coach, and have some kind of input on the offense. We still don't know how much input he's having on offense, and do all those things and still try to have a feel for what's going on in the game, that time of the clock, down and distance, having a feel for that all at the same time. I don't see a guy like him being that regimented, being able to do two things at the same time. I think he'd be good by giving that fucking that coaching job, that coordinator job to fucking Eric Washington, and focus, if you need to focus on making sure you deliver for your guys when it comes down to it, and taking that shot that they need you to take. I need the coach to step up there and be brave and call out the right stuff for us, you know, and trust it. You hear that all the time, and it's real true, kids. I need the coach to be able to trust us. We'll go get the job done. Just call the right shit. And I don't see that right now.
Yeah, that's not the craziest thing that you've ever said. You know what I mean? It actually makes a heck of a lot of sense. My guy is holding that defensive coordinator role hostage. And I think he's holding, man, the friggin' the record is repeating again. It's going again. 33 1/3 degrees, man. Sorry, because like I remember Matt Nagy holding hostage the friggin' offensive coordinator job. Like, God, it kills me, bro. Anyhow, yeah, one way of doing this is letting go of that role, giving it to Eric Washington, and actually becoming zero focused on the head, the head coaching role. Be that CEO, because right now I don't think he's CEO of anything.
Kids, I think that's probably the likeliest next step if something goes wrong.
I think so too. Like if they lose against the Cardinals and he's still here, if you're saying like they might fire, if he's still here after a Cardinals game loss, I think he gives the defense to because straight up and down, defense kind of got spanked up this past week. Thank God they actually held down 0 touchdowns, but there's like almost close to 500 yards air and ground altogether. That was pretty egregious. Anyhow, yeah, if he gives that up to Eric Washington, I think that saves him another couple of weeks to maybe try and figure things out a bit more. But first thing I would do, there's got to be somebody in the sky in every game paying attention to this stuff, and at the very least, hey man, you need to throw a flag now. Somebody is out of position. This is not going to work. You're going to get burned.
Trips, I got to ask you a question. If in case that situation comes about where he ends up having to pass that torch to Eric Washington, do you think it's going to be him willingly doing it, or because they neutered him and told him this is what you're going to do?
It's like, bro, I was watching like CSI, Criminal Minds, or one of those mind fuck you shows, and Flu seems like one of those narcissist dudes that are insecure. So he doesn't want to give up any control or any power or anything, because he realizes like deep down that he's inadequate. So he tries to control every goddamn thing, and he's fucking up so much because he's incompetent at so many other things and not focusing on one thing, like you were saying. So it's like, if he has to relinquish control, he's gonna like get exposed, and then like it's like, bro, he just gotta go.
It's bizarro world, bro. It's bizarro world. Everything you just said could be attributed to Matt Nagy. Every line, everything you just said, right? It's exactly the same thing that we dealt with there. We dealt with a guy who was super confident in what he thought he was really good at, which was being an offensive coordinator, scheming up plays, scheming open receivers. That's what he was good at, where he came from. Came here, he wanted to keep doing that. All the OCs that we've hired, be damned. I'm doing it. Oh, we can't call timeouts. We're mismanaging games. I wonder why, right? Like, here we are again, same situation.
And you guys want to trade for a top pass rusher. Time loop.
Well, what are we supposed to do?
You got to stay assertive.
What do you do?
That situation. I'm going to fuck who the coach is.
Let this season play out. Fire this damn coach. Bring in John Gruden. That's what you do.
You miss opportunities being like that. You got to stay assertive at all times. And if you're not, you're gonna fuck around and get left behind because other teams are gonna get stronger in this division, and you may not be able to. It might not be nothing in the fucking draft or next year's trade market to help you compete with that motherfucker. So I don't buy that fucking shit whatsoever.
We ain't winning any games with this.
It doesn't matter. You still need to stay competitive.
But this is sort of my point there, dude.
Won't be competitive with this coach. Winnable game, we lost it.
My point is that, like, if you did bring in a Max Crosby or Myles Garrett, you're going to win games regardless as to the coach. Coaching, like his defensive scheme, like let's just be real, man. It's super vanilla 4-3 99% of the time. Get the other edge rusher already and call it a day.
Okay, Kedz, let me tee this up, man.
That won't matter when Jordan Love throws for 4 touchdown passes on us.
Hold on.
There's no way he will.
Let me tee this up because
did it twice last year.
Hold on. If we don't remain competitive in that market this year, not next year, not the year fucking after, or anywhere in the future, if we don't get competitive in this market, you think Detroit looks like a beast right now? There'll be that monster over here on the left side if they fuck around and get a Myles Garrett or Crosby, and we don't get either. They'll eat your fucking skull off.
Yep, we're cooked. Like if any one of those other NFC, obviously not Minnesota, they're pretty good at that particular position. But if Green Bay, you just brought them up there, dude. If Green Bay goes and gets a Myles Garrett or a Max Crosby, we're iced.
If we don't get one of the other, if one of those teams in the division grabs one of them and we don't counter with the other, we in trouble.
We're in big trouble.
But bro, how many, like, if we even had like Myles Garrett or Crosby, but Flus is still Flus and like making bad calls or not calls, and you're still losing games, what's the difference?
When you got that kind of talent,
so here's what happens.
Hold up. When you got that kind of talent, Trips, sometimes that trumps fucked up bellhead fucking coaching. When you got that kind of talent, overwhelms. I'm telling you, man, you got that kind of talent, you can be a really average ass coach and they can make you right.
But this is it. Like, then you, with that talent, and you still don't get deep into the playoffs, and or maybe not even make it into the playoffs at all, the coach is doomed. Right, like it still proves the fact that the coach is not who we need him to be, bro. Like, if you're sitting here saying that 3 years in, like, for God's sakes, 3 years in, my guy still doesn't know when to challenge or you know what I mean? That's crazy. It's madness. There's no reason for any of that. And if it takes relinquishing the DC role to get him, get his head in the game and focused on it, please. Give it to Eric. He's here. He can do it. I have all the faith in the world in the guy.
Okay,
just focus on it,
fellas. How do you think? Okay, so you know for a fact that Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham is in that office going over all that, and there's some of that's going to Kevin Warren when they're getting close to, like, we're pretty sure that this is going to work out for us in the long run. Those conversations, of course, Flus is in there in the conversation too, probably influencing whether or not to do this or not. So Kevin Warren, I think, is the elephant in the room here. And do you think? Yes, I do, because at the end of the day, when they make the decision between Ian Cunningham, Ryan Poles, and Flus saying we gotta go and do this, and then it makes its way to Kevin Warren's office and say, hey man, we're decided, man. We know that this is going to put us over the top. How do you feel about this? I don't think that the coaching situation with Eberflus, I don't think that's a factor at all.
Well, no, bro. Well, let me ask you this though, Nomad. Like, bro, if you were Kevin Warren, and it's like, well, we got this cook, and he's kind of sus, but let me go ahead and use all these resources to get top sirloin and like this motherfucker only needs hamburger, because it's like now it's like we put all these super expensive groceries in Flus's cart, and Flus pushes that shit into the parking lot into a truck that's going by, and it's like now we're fucked.
So I think that's how they. I think probably. I think the Bears probably did the brightest thing I've seen them do since they grabbed Lovey, and I think that they backed up what they thought was a fairly decent coach in Flus by bringing in some really qualified people behind him, knowing that if the shit doesn't work out, and we wasn't sure if it would, I'm telling you, they know that they have the personnel in place to make them right. And I think that was a brilliant move to bring the pieces that they brought in on the coaching staff to be able to keep this thing functioning. If in the event that they decided they wanted to part ways with Flus and remain aggressive out there and try to be a contender, I think they're set to do it. This is just me in my mind looking at those guys' credentials and what I know they bring to the table versus, if they decided to let Flus go. I feel real good about that if they did that.
I'm shaking my head heavily here because I the words brilliant and retaining Flus to me can't really be put in the same sentence.
You got them backed up, man. You got them backed up. It doesn't hurt you none to go through several games and feeling like, okay, if something really goes awry,
it does, because now you got to push the reset button at the end of the term. Fuck it, push the reset button now, right? Push it before the season. You're going to draft a new quarterback. You've made the decision. You line him up with his new staff. They're happy. Heck, you put it all together, right? Everything, all the timelines are together. It's a new coach, new situation. We've got new head coaches and new offensive coordinators in Washington, D.C., making this guy look foolish 3 years into his role. You know what I mean? And like, this isn't the first like rookie staff that's out maneuvered Matt Eberflus. Yeah, I can't call it a brilliant move. Even backing it up is that's just like, hey man, like, we know this shit might not work, so let's get a couple guys in here in case we gotta dump it.
What if I told you that maybe the front office, when I say the front office, I'm talking about the McCaskies, want to give Flus every opportunity because he is tied in. Whether we want to believe that shit or honor that shit or not, he is tied into that family. And the truth is, all right, we want to go with you. Now, just imagine this going on. We want to go with you in the idea of going to get another coach and doing that whole thing. But what if we went and got some people that can set up the situation so that if you decide that he's not the right guy, we've got qualified people so that we don't miss a beat. And I think to me, that's a really good way to go about that.
Bro, you killed me, bro.
In one stone.
You killed me, man. If you're trying to tell me that really the Matt Eberflus is here out of some sort of nepotism,
well, you don't think there's something to that?
I'm not saying I'm not justifying or confirming or denying. I'm just saying that if that's the real reason why he's here, we're straight up doomed.
Why is that?
Because nepotism seldomly results in awesomeness.
Seldomly, huh?
Seldom. Not very often.
Okay. I'd be a fool to sit there and argue with that, but I've seen that be successful too. Depending on the people.
Nepotism be successful where?
Hell yeah. If you go to Atlanta, and you look, especially if you go to the east side of Atlanta where there's Decatur, Stone Mountain, and for the first time in my life, and I don't mean to bring race into anything, but for the first time in my life, outside when I kind of rode up and through DC, but not really spending any time there, never really seen that many Black people congregated in one area in my life. And what I was expecting to see versus what I saw, I'm talking about from the business standpoint, From the business standpoint, you saw a couple of generations worth of people, Black people, running successful companies and bringing their own up and keeping that going within the families and stuff like that. When you see stuff like that, and it's pure nepotism. It's pure nepotism. When you see stuff like that versus the conversation we're having, it will give you a little bit of pause, kids. And I know that has nothing to do with football.
No, it's nothing to do with football. I want you to show me a football example where
it is
nepotism
business, though, kids. At the same time,
you know what? Nepotism actually worked for the. You know what?
There's some validity to it.
I'm actually going to give you some football validity. So the Ryan family, you know, I suppose that's a situation where nepotism may have worked. The Shanahan family, there's actually some good lists of families that have brought their children up and into football in one capacity or the next. And in some of those cases, they have had some levels of success. Yeah. In this case, is it working?
This case, kids, but I'm just giving you.
Is it working, guys? Is it like?
It may not be here, but I'm telling you, there's cases of it.
Yeah, no, and I just backed you up. I gave you a bunch of examples of in the NFL where nepotism actually has been successful. Kyle Shanahan's a great example of this, right? Like he's actually a really good example. But I'm not the biggest fan of nepotism. I'm much more of a fan of talent and know-how and expertise. Those are things that I hold true and dear, as opposed to, you know, who's Johnson you came out of. I could care less.
What say you, man? What say you about that whole thing?
I mean, obviously, like, bro, like Flus has the personality that the McCaskies are attracted to. They have a type, like the Nagys, like the Fluses, and it's like they're nice guys and all, and like decent human beings. But like mentally, once they get out on that field, they just can't handle the weight, the spotlight. But the McCaskies are like old school, so it's like we're gonna ride or die, like with this dude, and it's usually dying until it's too late. And so it's like that's why, like you said, like the wild card is Kevin Warren, because like what does Presidente say? You know, now he's that buffer.
So let me sort of just throw a bit of a monkey wrench into this like nepotism flex, right? So the examples that I sort of brought up that have been successful have sort of come from, you know, my dad was a coach. He was a head coach, and he's instilled football in me my entire life, and I'm bringing that to the NFL, and that's you know, exemplary in the Ryan brothers, as well as in Kyle Shanahan. There's actually a bunch of other examples of this, to be honest with you. So again, Nomad, you're probably much more right than I was in saying that nepotism is a little bit flaky.
All I'm gonna say is the Wayans brothers.
And then you got players too.
They're just related to each other. Those are just brothers.
The Wayans brothers, man, that's the biggest case in Hollywood of nepotism going right that I can think of.
It is definitely a nepotism gone right. Jackson 5 will work too. We could do this for a while, but I'm much more of a talent. I'm in favor of talent. So in the case with Matt Eberflus, he's not from a coaching parentage situation. This isn't like a football situation that's been passed down through the years of tutelage. Like Rex to, you know, like Buddy to his kids, or like Mike to his kid. He's just a guy who happens to be related to the McCaskies through marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not this is the worst example of nepotism.
Well, I mean, come on, kids. We can get carried away.
I'm just saying, like,
carried away.
Is that 100% confirmed?
I don't know. I'm not sure if it is.
What Nick did say?
He said, "Is that 100% confirmed?" Like I've heard something to this effect. I don't know if anybody's gone up to Matt Eberflus and said, "Hey, like, are you actually related?"
That might be a bunch of hearsay, because I feel like if something like that was true, it would be a little bit more accessible to see, like not like article wise.
So you calling fake news?
That's what Nick's saying. Nick's saying fake news.
Yeah, I don't think they're.
I don't like saying fake news, but you know, might be rumors.
Okay. How about this, man? We're gonna get mired in this conversation way too long if I don't move forward, because we got a game coming up this week, and it's against the Cardinals, who's is also one of those teams that were in that surging conversation, teams that are surging, that teams, the league didn't really expect to be surging. We're in that conversation. We had a bad loss this week, but we're still in that conversation. And so is the Arizona Cardinals. They had a rough, and it seems like they're along the same, I would say, tread that we're on, other than us having a rookie quarterback. They're on the same wavelength, like trying to pair up their new pieces to what they have going on. I'm starting to see the thing come together when I'm looking at it on film. I'm looking at Kyler Murray. He's diming it up with his receivers out there, and he's going to be a hard cover. When I say a hard cover, he's probably going to be the most difficult. I don't think you can have a more difficult cover than Kyler Murray in the league, and I'm including this Lamar Jackson in that conversation. He is so fucking cat quick. I mean, he can spin and he can dart out of a situation so quickly because he's so low to the ground. I mean, he is absolutely the nightmare scenario for any defensive coordinator to deal with a hell of an arm on him that's, I would say, above average accuracy. He does have the tendency to sail a ball high. When he's wrong, it's high. So it does portend to turnovers, floaters that end up being interceptions. But, man, he is going to be a hard cover this week. And it's not like, because we need to rebound, the world is going to start feeling sorry for us. We need this game. And the truth is, this is going to be a rough game against a surging team that's starting to put it together with a quarterback that's a fucking man. He's hell to deal with in the pocket.
Well, they were saying that Arizona, like the Cardinals, have had one of the toughest schedules so far this season, and now it gets easier, of course, when they start playing us. And like the Bears have had the easiest schedule so far, and now it starts getting tougher as we're playing now. So, like, this is almost a must-win, because I don't see many wins within a division right now. So it's like we got to win the games that, like, bro, are winnable, like last week. But, like, this week, they definitely have to contain the Call of Duty dude and Marvin Harrison Jr. and I don't know Waldron's deal, but he needs to figure that shit out. So this is like almost a must win, I think.
Guys, Trip, I can. It is definitely a must win. Unfortunately, the team I watched play football last week ain't gonna beat this team. This team is too good on the run, and they're also too good on the pass. I don't expect Kyler Murray to really light it up and dot it up out there, but I do expect to see a couple of really nice receptions by Marvin Harrison Jr. I do expect to see a lot of Kyler Murray on the run, scooping up yardage. He's actually really good at it, and folks kind of sleep on it.
You're already defeated.
Huh? I am. This week defeated me for this week for sure. The team I saw last week, this is why I'm saying it the way that I'm saying it. The Chicago Bears football team that I just watched come out of the bye week, they can't beat the Cardinals. If it's a different team coming out on Sunday, cool beans. Maybe they beat them. But the team I saw last week ain't beating this Cardinals team.
And the thing is, though, like, because of the quote unquote drama that happened after the commies game, it's like this is also a game that is not only against the Cardinals, it's the locker room. And it's like, how does the locker room like respond during the game?
So
Right.
I'm hoping this Cardinals game is all schemed up and they like, you know what I mean? I hope they come into this game ready to attack the Cardinals and win this football game. They had 2 weeks to beat the Commanders, and I don't know what we just witnessed. So,
well, I can tell you guys schematically. I'm telling you guys right now, and I don't mind saying this. Other than Patrick Mahomes, they won't run into a quarterback that can really dice them up schematically in the air like they ran into with Matthew Stafford.
Oh, okay.
So Matthew Stafford was the worst. He is at the epitome. He's at the peak of his game. Like Matthew Stafford will never be better than he is right now. And we had to deal with him when we dealt with him. Kyler Murray is a different kind of challenge. He won't do what Matthew Stafford did to or tried to do to us in the air. No, he'll do it kind of in both ways. And so he's a unique challenge. And so now you got to scheme it up so that you remain aggressive. You don't get away from your aggressiveness, that you need to put him at the chase, get him out of the pocket, but then know at the same time that's when he's at his best, is out of the pocket. But when you pursue it, when you decide, when the linebacker or defensive end decides, like okay, what I see on film, Kedz and Trips, is like you can't honor his pump fakes. So let's just say Montez Sweat's, he breaks out of the pocket and Montez Sweat is on him. He's in range, but Kyler Murray has the chance to throw that pump fake at him and freeze Montez Sweat. To me, I see, don't honor that freeze, don't honor that pump fake, because he doesn't. It's 9 times out of 10, it's just a pump fake. He's not going to throw the ball on the run. He's going to wait and try to get his feet together. Keep pursuing him until you get him on the ground. That's what I would be telling the defense. When you get him in your sight and you decide to pursue, keep pursuing. Don't honor the pump fake. Just get that motherfucker on the ground. Because he'll pump fake you and then create a whole different play out of that because he freezes the linebacker or the defensive end. He's a different kind of challenge than Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford will destroy you from the fucking pocket. This dude will get out of the pocket and destroy you in the air or on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, he has improved, in my opinion. He's definitely come along, and more importantly, his wide receiving core has come along. They have one of the better wide receiving cores in the NFL, in my opinion. It's just a matter of those guys really growing into it, and him growing into his rapport with them. I think is really what it is, and the record kind of reflects that. They're playing very good football right now, and one of the we cannot overlook John Connor and the run game over there either. The run game is serious things. So, this much less to say about the Bears defense. Bears defense is a dangerous thing. They are. I'm just not sure if the right messages were sent to the locker room this week. I feel like they weren't. I don't believe that they were. I don't believe the locker room is a happy place with respect for the coaching staff there right now. And I think that's going to bleed into this week. Doesn't feel right. That was an ugly showing, and it didn't have to be last week. So unless somehow they whipped everything into shape, which is possible,
but unlikely.
All right.
That's where my headspace is.
Because looking at like containing Call of Duty Murray, and it's like Martin, he looked good, and Zerk Booker and Sweat, and Mr. Excitement Taylor, the defensive ends can keep contained, but you got to keep those lanes because Call of Duty will like burn out and get to the outside, like Nomad was saying, and like all he got to do is just chuck it up, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. is just out there just dick boying dudes.
See.
So I don't want to get into a whole lot of what we could do against that team because I do got a little bit more work to do, and I'd like to get in another show this week. But you guys, you Super No Maniacs, forgive me if we don't get to a show late this week because I do need to spend some time getting that website back up and going. I've been having to put that on the burner because of other stuff going on. But I got to get that website up and going, and I got to dedicate some times when I'll be normally doing podcasts to make sure we get the job done. And I apologize ahead of time if we don't get some more content out there. Hopefully we don't run nobody off, and y'all can understand that sometimes it's a business aspect to this shit too that need to be addressed, man. So I just wanted to say that in advance to not wanting to get too much into the matchup, because I do plan on jumping out here at some point during the week, and hopefully I'll have time, because what I got in mind might provide us a little bit of time to get at least a show in before the game and kind of dial into that matchup, because I think there's plenty of other shit to talk about.
Like who's going to play on the O line?
Yeah, all that's a whole ass conversation right there. Y'all want to talk about that a little bit before we flip topics, because I got something else I want to do.
Well, let's go on to your other topic, because we don't know who's going to play the O line.
Well, we can get into it a little bit, because I can tell you right now, it looks like when you don't have I don't see anything changing, but Braxton Kiranamagaji, you don't have the 1 and 2 backup. I mean, the 1 and 2 left tackles. Looks like we're gonna have to end up playing Bourne. Number one, we might have Ryan Bates that comes back. That's going to be a help. Might have to elevate Nate Davis back into the fold too, kind of fill in a gap.
Bill Murray's on IR.
He's done.
They signed a guy.
God, it used to be with the Chargers.
Austin Pleasant.
Yeah, they signed a guy. I wouldn't necessarily go around and call him a world beater there either. So it is what it is. We'll see how he performs. I would have said similar things about a Bill Murray, and he definitely jumped in and played absolutely great. Shout outs to you, Bill Murray. Hope to see you when you get back from IR, just as in similar shape and back on the field, bro. Big shout outs to you.
And then Tev got a bad knee.
Who does?
Tev?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Tev's hurting too.
Let me throw a little bit on there, because, and I think in this particular part of the game, talking about the trenches on the offensive line, if we were to have a week that we were going to have some injuries and we're going to have some question marks, I think this is the best week to have it, because I don't know that we've run into a weaker defensive line than this one. This defensive line, this defense is not good. Not only the defensive front, the secondary ain't that good. They get ran over. They get passed on. It's like the line, if you had to pick a game that we have some deficiencies on the offensive line, this would be the game you circled on the schedule. I'm not saying that they're going to go out there and be shit, because I said they're going to be shit, but they're not that good. And they're actually, speaking of the devil, looking them up and studying their stuff, they're actually in public actively looking for that pass rusher. They feel like they can do something this year. Yeah. So they're in that market now.
I'm just saying our O-line ain't nothing to sneeze at right now with all the injury that we just cropped up. So, it might be a field day for those guys, which also gives me pause. But what can you do, man?
But bro, it looks like other teams' defensive coordinators know like what Waldron is going to be doing before he does it, and they're taking away all the stuff he wants to do, and it's like there's nobody open before the offensive line gets Gizmo, pressure or sacked. And there's so many times where it's like you see like Rome or DJ wide the fuck open, but Gizmo can't get him the ball because the O-line is a sieve. And this is before all the injuries, bro.
That whole Gizmo thing, you got that going on, don't you?
Hey, that's his name, bro.
That's what he calls him. I get it. I get it. I watched that movie too.
Yeah, but remember in preseason when Ron was like, dude, looks like Gizmo. And it's like, bro, he looks like
that what
Gizmo.
he said? He does kind of look like Gizmo. But more he looks like Tony.
All right. How about we save a little bit to later as far as the football conversation? I think we covered the Bears very well on this show, man. Thank you guys for being here, and happy Halas Eve. All Halas Eve, kids just taught me a few minutes ago. But I got something else for you guys, man, and I'm gonna get into some stuff that I heard. How about this, man? Let me share my screen. We're gonna show y'all some love, man. We're gonna get into some stuff here. Just because. Here we go.
How you doing, man?
The right way. You know what I'm saying? So what we gonna do is kick back, swing with a funky beat by my man DJ P-Rock, producer extraordinaire. Yo, P-Rock, make it clear. I can flex, bang, lend a pen to a friend. Keep a party pimping from now till then. I don't have to swear, curse, or juggle. Lyrics and...
By the way, Heavy D, one of the greats when you start talking about the history of hip-hop and you start etching out guys that really like Heavy fat ass. That fat ass his fat ass used to jam.
But
his fat ass is the reason that Puff Daddy is famous, by the way.
Hey, we
got to put that out there. But I love this track, so we gonna jam to this track.
You're right.
In the verse to make a party bubble. So Mr. Censorship, tell me what's your problem. There's girlies on the corner, if wife you can't solve them. How did she say it? I'm curious, G. Does she say, honey, love me, or baby, fun me? Anyway, we'll say what we want to say. Play how we want to play, feels good that way. So G-Rap. It's time to...
In case you haven't recognized, they did it all without cursing.
Pick up first, do your man a favor, and don't curse.
You're telling me don't curse, I reversed and did it worse. First, I put a curse in every verse. I kind of got outrageous. Check it, even made a record how I'm doing all the VITCHs. Ducks, it wasn't for the bucks. Every word that you heard is because I didn't give a fuck.
In case you don't know who that is, Kool G Rap. You want to give him a little, one of y'all want to give him a little 411 on him?
Kool G Rap is an original Juice Crew member. He's on the song, you know, he's on the symphony. He's he's actually one of the dopest MCs that probably has ever lived.
And I met him one time, like, bro.
Down, Nick.
He came down
what you talking about.
He came down to WCRX and he has a list, and his DJ Polo.
Before we step away from Kool G Rap is also the guy who taught Nas how to rap. Nas also used to rap with a little bit of a lisp. The trick is that Kool G Rap punches in. If he's just freestyling, he freestyles. But when he's recording, he punches in on back in the day on like an 8-track. So he'd record a line, pause it, record his next line, and punch it in. And that's how he used to record all his raps back in the day. Nas does the exact same thing. And if you really listen to the two of them, their cadences are very similar.
It's crazy the lyricism that they figured out what to do with that, man. That's crazy. With the wordplay that they use and how they string shit together, you can imagine they probably would have to do it that way, wouldn't you?
Like again, you don't have to, but when you have, I used to rap with a guy with a lisp. It's just a little bit easier for a guy with a lisp because that S kind of bleeds into the next bar. So you cut the bar and you let him spit the next bar.
Hey kids, you know what's funny about that? Some of my favorite rappers ever have a lisp. You talking about Eric Sermon, you talking about Biz Markie, talking about Kool G Rap. Heavy lisp, but dope as fuck when they bring it.
Yeah, Cold Chillin' was very close with these guys too. To be frank, I mean, Cold Chillin' is the label that Big Daddy Kane was on. I'm not sure. Trip is Biz Markie Bismarck's Juice Crew, right?
Oh, Biz is Juice Crew, yeah. He's original Juice Crew.
Yeah, okay.
Biz is original. Him and what's his name? Little crackhead looking motherfucker, MC Shan.
Yeah, Shan was.
Yeah, everybody forgets about MC Shan. Shan's the one they kind of leave out.
The bridge is over.
Yeah. Well, here we go.
Oh, shucks. Hey, yo, I almost forgot.
There's Fluffy right there.
So I'ma let profanity retire. Hey, but if worst come to worst, I'll cut you out like it's a plier. So grab Pooper, kick up first. But do your man a favor and don't curse. Don't curse.
And Grand Puba wrote at least 2 raps on this song.
Somebody, I'll let one of you guys tell everybody who Grand Puba is and what his origins are.
Oh, Brand Nubian.
Yeah. Grand Puba is one of the most rightness MCs out there. He's written for all kinds of folks. Pete Rock being probably the most obvious guy. Anything on the CL Smooth and Pete Rock album is written by Grand Puba if it ain't written by CL Smooth. And Pete Rock's got some dope bars on that. But Brand Nubian, again, one of the greatest MCs of all time, easily Grand Puba, for different reasons.
All right. No more Nomad girls, though, man. We just want to be able to see who we got up here.
Don't worry about it. We already ran through the Nomad girls.
Curse. I take a famous curse word and just say coof. Coof flipped around the other way means huh. Boy, when I do it, see I can't get stuck. Jump on a mic, then I earn a quick buck. Buck meaning loot. Then I grab some boots and step with my troops. For those who can't follow and got stuck, coof flipped the other way means
Dope.
This is a curse, I freaked the nurse in a hearse, but I made sure I had my hat first. It's time to kick a verse. God cipher divine, we can't curse.
So somebody's gonna have to go ahead. I know y'all briefly spoke about CL Smooth, but go ahead, one of y'all.
Ain't much to talk about. So CL Smooth and Pete Rock, like that, they're like, white and rice, I guess, right? They go together. He's the MC to Pete Rock's producer / DJ. Pete Rock is coming up next, I believe, but he is he's actually the blood cousin of Heavy D. So a couple of tracks on this album, I believe this one specifically, but a couple of other tracks are produced by Pete Rock, and they're across the board the better tracks on the album. Again, CL Smooth is just simply an MC, definitely super far away from being in my top MC list, but he's all right. He's there.
So Trip, there's a RIP TORY. You want to tell that story right quick?
That was I think it was Heavy D's cousin, Trouble T. Roy. He died.
Trouble T. Roy, one of the dancers.
Part of what group?
He was Heavy D's
He's a boy. He's one of the boys, right?
Yeah,
so
the
boys is Trouble T. Roy, Puff, Bloody Daddy, and one other guy, and I can't remember the third guy. But those were the boys: Puff Daddy, Trouble T. Roy, and another guy.
Puff wasn't one of them.
I'm just
Puff
saying.
wasn't one of them.
He wasn't one of the boys, but he was down with the crew.
Bro, he was dancing with them, bro.
That's those Uptown days, Uptown Records.
Yeah.
And
what I'm telling you is he used to be Heavy D's dancer first, before Uptown Records, before he got put on.
Yeah, but Trouble T. Roy was actually his cousin, though.
He's actually his blood cousin. They're related. Yeah. So T. Roy, Heavy D, and Pete Rock are cousins. They're all related.
So what how the story goes, from my understanding, I read it in one of my cousins' magazines. They were on tour somewhere, and just bullshitting around in between getting set up for the show that they had to do that night.
Yeah,
whatever arena they were back in the backstaging area where people were pulling up, loading equipment into the venue, and they were bullshitting around back there at the loading docks, where if you ever been on a big loading dock, the fall is a pretty steep fall. You know what I mean? And if you're not really paying attention and you fucking around out there and you fall at that loading dock the wrong way, you can lose your life. And when I heard, he broke his neck on that fall.
Yeah, because remember, like semis be backing up, so like the height of the walk of a semi is like straight onto the loading dock. So like that distance, like he fell and landed awkward and broke his shit.
Okay, I didn't. As much as I love the song, They Reminisce Over You, it's one of my favorite tracks of all time. But as much as I love it, I never really heard the story as to how Troy actually passed away. And that's news to me.
That's the way I can. That was verbatim what I read, pretty much. All right, so let's continue this, man. finish this one up.
Yo, go ahead, ask me. When I kick a curse in a verse, I say no. Grab you by your hand, wash your mouth out with soap. Thinking to be the last one with the bad lingo. Scooping over skins in the church, playing bingo. Sounds of the Macadon fresh from the tailor. Because I made a movie when he cussed like a sailor. Better yet, dialect dirty like a subway. Figure for your loop here to make it go the other way. In a vocabulary scrimmage, but cursing in my village ain't good for my image. So Big Daddy, you know it's time to kick a verse. But do your man a favor, don't curse.
So now I'm going to speak to this because why? I think, and I know I'm going to end up in a conversation with Kedz because he's going to want to probably try to choke slam me through this computer. I think he is the greatest rapper of all time. I'm gonna tell you why. Because when I'm not only I'm a hip hop guy, I'm a hip hop historian. I think about the place and time and listen to his lyrics when they came out. And when I'm telling you guys now, when that guy came out and that song Raw hit, and he's got a couple other joints before that. When I heard that, at that date and time, there was nothing. He completely set a different benchmark for everybody. Everybody had to measure up to that. He set he's like the in a room full of bad example, but he's the silverback among that group. He's the absolute silverback. I'll listen to other people's point of view, but you talking about at a date and time, you talking about the absolute elite lyrical, just penmanship. Big Daddy Kane was elite at that time. You know, by the time you see in this video where he's got smooth ass lover type of clothes on, that's a different Big Daddy Kane. Now he's getting into the lover boy type of persona that he had going on. But when Kane came out, oh my God, he was elite.
All right. I will. That is an opinion to have. There was definitely a time where I shared that opinion full stop, right? But
as time went on, kids, I'm probably going to agree with you. He fell off.
That's it. It's my problem with Kane is strictly just when he fell off, right? That's my only problem with Kane. Kane is the man for what it's worth, but when he fell off is kind of smack in the middle of the actual like explosion of hip hop, when hip hop really starts taking off.
But kids, he is your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Like in some cases he is, but then when those favorite rappers go and they listen to Rakim, they stop and they're like, oh man, like we might have slipped on the Rakim.
I
we
thought
might have been.
Who was your favorite rapper's favorite rapper?
Who?
He is. He's I'm, you know what I mean? He's my favorite rapper for sure, right? Like that's me on a different level. But again, same token, like at the time, lyrically, Rakim is actually just leaps and bounds better. You have to actually.
No, he is. I ain't giving you that shit. But how about you, Trips? What you think about him?
Bro, anything goes when it comes to hoes, because pimping ain't easy.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
All right, this ain't his best lyrical work, but we're gonna finish it out.
The smooth rap inventor, the enter. Rhythmless questions not about, so there's no need to censor. Kids wanna peep it, but you wanna beep it. What? I feel like slapping a sticker on your chill, say what? Too magical rhymes are too tragical for any source to stop King from getting capital. If I thought sticking me was dissing me, man, don't you know that this would be worse than Stephen King's misery? So clean off profanity, spilling it all the manner be, rocking any microphone you hand to me. So heavy D, I'm about to disperse, I kick another verse, and don't forget not to curse. Hey, yo, Big Daddy, check this out. I'm about to do some more slide, slick, smooth on the trick tip stuff. I'm gonna bring my little cousin, the producer of this joint. His name is DJ Pete Rock, definitely part of one of the family. You know what I'm saying, Jay? And he about to flex on this head mic and get busy like his big cousin. You know what I'm saying? Check it. Big Rock, take it first, but don't curse. God bless.
Pete Rock.
All right, Pete Troy. So Pete Rock is probably Pete Rock is one of the most important producers in hip hop history. It's probably, you know what? Shout out to you, Pete Rock. Yo, Pete Rock's out there doing podcasts. I seen him do an X-Men podcast recently about X-Men 97. He's a big comic book fan too. Shout out to Pete Rock. That's my dude. But these, like, some of the production this guy's actually put out there into the ether is second to none. You know, some of the best songs on the Illmatic album are this guy, right? World Is Yours. They Reminisce Over You. There's a laundry. The better part of this Heavy D album as well is all done by Pete Rock. And when I say that, this is probably, by way of the sound of the time, the most accurate Heavy D was, right? Like, at this point, Heavy D sort of stepped away from just being, you know, just a jovial, larger fellow, which is kind of what he was. You know what I mean? That's kind of what he was.
Let's say a jolly, portly motherfucker, huh?
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what he was, starting things out. At this point, hip-hop is starting to blow up, and he had to sort of keep up with the time, and the guy who helped him keep up with the time was his badass Cousin's Beat. That's it, right? So this is when hip-hop is moving away from, again, a jolly fellow with three dancers into, like, yo, underground, you know what I mean? Like, underground hip-hop is where things are starting to trend.
I think this was one of those beats when he made it, and Heavy D probably helped him put all those guys together and made sure they got on this record. And he was just like, man, I'm getting on this motherfucker. Fuck that. He's like, Troy, Pete, man, no, don't. He's like, I got some skills, man. And to me, this is some quasi rhyme skills, but you got to tip your hat to him.
No, this is the other way around. So if it's saying R.I.P. T. Roy here, what this means is Pete's probably hanging, and like it explains why Q-Tip is on this track too. So this would be smack in the middle of him producing alongside Q-Tip for the Nas album. Like, this collection of human beings, you just kind of have to look at it. This is exactly at that time. So he also wound up producing the Heavy D album just at that time too.
I'm gonna give Pete Rock 2-3 bars, man. That's it. Let me see what he got.
Watch.
But I can't mess around with the curses, so I'ma kick verses or a verse. Soul brother number one here to kick facts. Smoke the microphone and produce crazy tracks. Yo, I'm a bad bro. Let's start the flow.
He hanging in there though. You gotta give him something.
This is all Grand Poobah, straight up. Let him rock.
Okay, so you think
I know so. Billion percent.
All right.
I'ma kick rhymes till it's time for me to go. I can't curse cause Heavy D said so. Now I'ma get back to the subject, get wrecked. If you think I'm bluffing, just check with the crew. P-Rock and CL smooth, very down to earth, and we didn't have to curse. Yeah.
Wait a minute, we got Q-Tip still?
Yeah, the abstract poet. Q-Tip from a chocolate question to wreck. You know what I'm saying? Got my man Pete Rock, my man D in the house. And we're definitely chilling on a lifted tip. So bust the spit out.
So go ahead, Trip. I know this was one of your favorite guys.
No, you know, bro, Trip is cool, but like, shout out to Fife.
Yeah, who passed away, what, 2-3 years ago, right?
Yeah, like more like 5 or 6 now, bro.
Yeah,
Is it? Has it been that long?
It's been a minute now.
What did he have? Sickle cell, lupus?
Yeah, he had
no, he had diabetes.
He had sickle cell.
I thought it was diabetes he died from.
No, because we did an interview with him one night. And he came down to the station and bro hung out all night, but he was sick. And I was like, "You good?" He was like, I don't want to go back to the hotel and y'all rocking the music and shit." And then he was talking about his illness, but it was like, it makes him feel bad, like when he's on the road and shit, but he didn't want to stop. You know, he wanted to keep doing his thing. And then it got him.
Mo Fugler, you missed all the Bears stuff, man. We had it. We went all the way in on all the Bears conversation, man. And we just trying to, you know, make sure we getting some of this hip hop in, you know, get some of that flavor going on. But to Q-Tip, man, I heard a story, and I think I heard a video, some audio of a video. This motherfucker right here, man, I want to call him a piece of shit. and he probably deserved that title. He jumped on Fife at the end of his life, towards the end, when they were making that last Tribe Called Quest record. He literally put the bats on him, dude. He beat him up. How you gonna beat a sick motherfucker up?
Well, look at Q-Tip. Like, a sick motherfucker is the only dude that bro could beat up.
Man, that I heard that. I was so disappointed.
Q-Tip ain't no gangster. He ain't no tough guy.
You beat him with a bat for what?
I didn't say he beat him with a bat. He beat him up.
For what? Why? You know?
When I say put the bats on him, that's one way of saying.
It's all good. I'm with you. But why did he? Any idea?
It had something to do. They were in the studio, so imagine that.
Are you sure it's 5v5 and not maybe Jerobi?
No, dude, he beat the shit out of Fife, and the DJ. Well, I forget his name all the time, but he broke
Ali Shaheed Muhammad.
Yeah.
Ali Shaheed.
That's the story I heard. That was in an article. Q-Tip never refuted it. In fact, he came out and apologized for what he did to him.
And like, bro, Fife is like little dude. Like 5'5", little.
What the fuck you gonna beat that cat up for?
So I've had the opportunity to kick it with Fife. I didn't get to kick it with Q-Tip. I'm trying to remember if Ali Shaheed was anywhere around, but he might have been with us. It was a weird situation. You know, similar, like this would be a couple years before him hanging out with URRR, but I had to hang out with him. The better part of Souls of Mischief, and we were just kicking it, man. It was they had a great show, and it was after their show they kind of walked in, like they had a show with De La Soul too, like it was a big show, but I just wound up hanging out with these guys. And, you know, we're out smoking. Everything is super cool, man. Love that guy. He's such an awesome ball of energy. And we were just flowing, and it was really good time with him. You know, rest in peace to Fife. Kind of sucky situation if these guys are out there fighting. But, you know, it's funny. I go back, and I was actually listening to some Tribe there today. I don't do it very often because for me, it tracks today, but sometimes it doesn't, you know. But what I am going to say is that at the time when I'm listening to to their music, I'm like, Q-Tip's the guy, man. Q-Tip's so good. But over the years, I've come to really realize, and I have a renewed love and respect for Fife Dog. Fife Dog was an amazing MC, no matter how you felt about him at that time. He's so much better than you probably really recognize. So, again, got to give some big shout outs to Fife. And again, Q-Tip is the abstract poetic. There's really not much more to be said there. This guy is and should be in everybody's like top 15 MCs, period. He's that good.
All right, let's get him a couple bars.
Flim, flam, flim, lick my big black stuff. Must I kick a curse to be rough enough? You could put the sticker where the sun don't shine. So back off and let me get mine. Visions in my head, one is dealing with hits. If I have 4 girls, then I'll lick 8 hits. Wait, don't wanna hear no drama, cause the bum diddly head is a fade of my mama's. So I'll brew out and get mad lifted. Don't have to say up to show that I'm gifted. God bless me, cause I reached my 21st FD. Don't drop a curse.
One of the classics out there, people. One of the classics. Where I'm going right now is to probably one of my full.
Bro, do I look like the Jabberwockies?
A little bit. Damn, you dip into Diddy's oil collection or what?
No, bro, that's all natural, baby.
Okay, you're just a little lathered up.
So what's going on right here is Def Squad. Let me tell you something, man. I have very rarely gotten so prepared to hear a record until I found out this was a record that was coming out, and I hadn't heard it. When I heard this shit, man, when I first heard this, I was just like, these motherfuckers are setting a marker in hip hop. And I think at the time, you know, the the West Coast was full ass on blast, like taking over everything. We talking about Snoop Dogg, we talking about Dr. Dre, we talking about the whole, Death Row situation. And the East Coast was trying to remain relevant. You're talking about in the times, you're talking about how can we do what we do and remain in competition with these guys out here. Did they match them in record sales? No. But they firmly, when I tell you they put the rivets in the ground and made sure that people didn't forget about what hip hop is and where it came from, this crew right here, man, I have nothing but respect for these motherfuckers right here. Every last one of these motherfuckers and what they put into the game. I'm telling you, this clique right here that Eric Sermon kept together, they still do shit to this day, even though Keith Murray is out there bad. That's a whole other conversation. But man, the work they put in and the joints that they put out, just let me appreciate this Eric Sermon, Redman, and Keith Murray joint, man. I don't know. We'll talk about it in between, but this full cooperation was straight lyrical right here.
You. What's up with these cats out here, son? I don't think they figure, son. I don't think they hear you, son. Drop a low. Now, first but not least, you will respect me. Play a nigga down like a do-rag and some grease. You must be crazy trying to play me. I've been dedicated since King Cut the Third, baby. Lyrical chemists, rhyme minutes, diminish you for the benefit. They continue to kill shit for the fuck of it. I see y'all been writing.
Okay. Even though Trips down there in that Diddy oil, tell me what lyrical chemist 1 minute. They said lyrical chemist 1 Dennis the Menace. You want to help me out with that, kids? Can you figure that out? Lyrical chemist 1 Dennis the Menace.
Oh, you have to go bring it back, bro.
All right, I'm gonna bring it back one time. That was dope. I mean, unheard of before he did that.
I'm not like a big Keith Murray guy. He's all right.
I must be crazy trying to play me. I've been dedicated since King Cut the Third, baby. Lyrical chemists, rhyme minutes, diminish you for the benefit. They continue to third, baby. Lyrical chemists, rhyme minutes, diminish you for the benefit. They continue to trying to play me. I've been dedicated since King Cut the Third, baby. Lyrical chemists, rhyme minutes, diminish you for the benefit.
Lyrical chemist 1 something diminished.
I heard 1 Dennis the Menace.
No, lyrical chemist 1 something diminished, and then he got into Dennis the Menace.
And then you feel the business.
Ooh, that was ill though. Come on now.
That was what do they call it? Like the 4 rhyme scheme on the 16 bars on the, what do you call it, kids? Like, bro, when you like rhyme the 4th bar on every line.
It's just it's a crazy rhyme scheme that he put together. And Keith does that all the time, man. Keith's actually he's a very underrated rapper at the end of the day, but Keith sold some. He's had some big tracks, man. Got to give it up to Keith Murray. Shout out Keith Murray.
And bro, it's not Keith, it's Keith. K-E-E-F.
Well, Keith
he spells it Keith, but he says Keith.
Keith Murray. All right.
Kids, you will get this 110%, no question about it. This is one of the statements I can make, and I know that you will 100% back this up. At a certain point on the East Coast, amongst certain cliques of MCs, it was always about originality. And so it wasn't about how many records you sold. It wasn't about how popular you think you are or how popular you want to be and be in pop. It was about being anti-pop and being against the machine and being original with your style. This motherfucker, I'm gonna play that one more time. You didn't hear nobody else doing no shit like this and putting words together like that.
Of course you did. What are you talking about? 800 guys who were doing stuff like this.
I've been dedicated since King Cut the Third, baby. Lyrical chemists, rhyme minutes, diminish you for the benefit. They continue to kill shit for the fuck of it. I see y'all been writing, still biting, still looking lame. Half y'all niggas still sounding the same. I'm exciting it when live on stage. When reciting and lightning, fighting lightning, throw thunder and chain.
Okay. Did you hear that last bar?
Mm-hmm. I said Keith's all right, man.
When live on stage, I'm exciting and lightning. Bring thunder and lightning, something. He said, I'm exciting with live on stage. I'm inciting and lighting. Watch this shit. Listen to this.
Live on stage, when we sighting and lightning, fight off y'all niggas still sounding the same. I'm exciting it when live on stage, when we sighting and lightning, fighting lightning, throw
when he's reciting, he's enlightening, fighting lightning, throwing thunder and change. Come on, dog.
Yeah. Like this is what I'm trying to say. Like,
dog, straight up.
You just kind of hit a thing. There's a lot of dudes doing like, you want to know who's doing stuff like this or that.
Forget that man as props though, man. Come on.
No, he's good. He's all right. But there's dudes out there
we're live on stage. I'm enlightening, inciting.
Play me some J-Ro the Damager.
Thunder and chains.
Let's throw out some crazy stuff where
Come on, get that man his props, man.
On stage, when we sighting and lightning, fighting lightning, throw thunder and chain. When I first came, I gave birth to 1 million MCs in the game. Who should all carry my last name? And I'm gonna get you, sucker, like Daniel Wayne, insane. Like Jermaine, bring pain to Novocaine. Okay.
How the fuck you gonna bring pain to Novocaine? How you gonna do that, man? I just want to know.
That is a good question.
I'm just saying, man. I don't know how you fucking do that, but this is a bad motherfucker.
Yellow monkeys want to play. My squadron bring the art of war the correct way. I need your full cooperation and total attention. There's a few things I like to mention. These rappers out here swear they so appealing. Now step to your business and hurt your feelings. I need your full cooperation and total attention. There's a few things I like to mention. These rappers out here.
All right, I think he had the dopest thing going on there. And
what was the J-Ro
That's Come Clean, but that's not the one I like. We were talking just about crazy bars. I think it's like Whirlwind Through Cities. Like, what's the name of that track, bro?
Whirlwind?
Shoot. Man.
Create content for people.
This is probably the realest I ever heard.
SEO writing assistant. Get your copy SEO ready. Strike the right tone.
Oh, come on. Really? This is the illest you heard of Redman?
Might be.
On a 2-pack song.
You find an MC like me who's strong.
Come on now. No, you need to stop this.
Command the microphone and get delicate combo. But a very snake in the panda. Oh. You direct your brain. Imagine when I create a rhyme for the simple fact. When I attack the bar for me to put down my guard.
So mandatory, my elevation, my lyrics like orientation. So you could be more familiar with the nigga breaking. No more procrastinating, activating your soul. You know the way to go.
I got my mind made up. Come on. Get into it. Tito, let it ride. Get with it. Tonight's the night. I got my mind made up. Come on. Get into it. Let it ride. Tonight's the night.
Well, I come through with 2 packs of the bomb prophylaxis.
Actually, might be my motherfucking favorite MC. Close to my favorite MC of all time is Corrupt. I ain't gonna lie to you. This motherfucker is something is wrong with Corrupt. Something is mentally wrong with that motherfucker. He is sick. But on this one, he was competitive as fuck on this one. But here we go.
What they're saying.
What'd you say, kids?
I said from what they're saying, it's mostly crack, but continue.
Or whatever.
Corrupt, he was on that pipe.
Yeah, he was doing something, man. But the guy, damn, that motherfucker lyrically is a beast.
I won't collapse, cause nowadays shit's evading the x-rays, sending young motherfuckers to an early grave. I wonder if my terrifying tactics and torturing MCs shows my heart's as cold as the tundra. Electrifying like thunder, I'm just too much. Rough and raw with that motherfucking poisonous touch. I'm an MC with lyrics, that's the fucking Bombay. You got this death before instant death like Bob X. My rhymes, I leave a mark on your mind as the deadly vibes spread to your head like sandpalm. There's no escape, and I ain't blasting. I use my mental to assassinate assassins. For those asking, opposed to laughing. Raw maniacal villain. Laughter enhances the chances of the.
He wasn't competitive on this one as much as he was on other joints that I've seen him be a part of, but that's another story.
Why is that? Cause smiling faces deceive. You best believe Tory sees I'm the deadliest disease. My thoughts rip your throat and make it hard to breathe. Your whole camp's under siege, and I'm Jason Voorhees.
Ooh, that was a good one. Hey. He tripped Voorhees.
The night is when I defeat and ignite mics. My verbal snipe your vocab on sight. I'm out the cut.
My verbal snipe your vocabs on sight. Dope.
Hey, Stub Rock, man, I'm just seeing you out there. What it do? Mental, see, you know what's up? He knew exactly what song I was talking about. I went and searched it up. My homie Stubbs. Big shout out to you, Stubbs. He knew exactly what track.
Book that. Bookmark that, man. We're going to get back to it.
Uncut and raw with no flaws. Balls, saw my rhymes hit and split the bricks on the wall. Should already have an idea about the superior sphere. The greater rhyme creator on both sides of the equator. I rock from here to there to Philly and back to LA when you come in contact.
The Mr. Mephical from back. Fuck you losers. While you fake jacks, I make maneuvers like Hitler. Sticking up with German. The Mr. Mephical from Staten Island will be back after this message. Don't touch the dap. Rarely do you see an MC out for justice. Got my gunpowder and my musket. Fly out, melons get swellings. I paint mental pictures like Magellan. Half of my clans repeat felons. Niggas best protect they joints, the 9 nickels. Man, I stay on point like icicles. Now who wanna test the cow? Then test the cow. All up in your motherfucking mouth. Headbanger boogie. Catch me on tour with Al Doogie. Method man roll too tight, you can't pull me. Better take one.
Method man roll too tight, you can't pull me. Wow.
Can't roll the blunts too tight.
What'd you say, Trip?
Can't roll the blunts too tight, bro.
Your vital statistics are low when falling fast. Johnny Blaze out to get loot like Johnny Cash. Play a game of Russian roulette and how.
Here is the dopest shit on here other than, hey, who was the Wu-Tang member at the end of this that didn't make the cut on the actual record? I can't remember. Is it Inspector Deck?
Inspector Deck destroyed the song and Tupac would not have it.
Yeah. That's a whole other thing. That is a whole other thing because lyrically, he just, outside of Redman, he was the motherfucking truth on here.
Have a blast.
Hey, yo, lyrical gat spitting the criminal tactics.
Lyrical gat spitting the criminal tactics. Non-believers getting my genitals backwards. What?
Non-believers get my dick and genital backwards. Let's face it, there's no replacement. Taste this, mad underground basement. Shit I'm laced with. Avalanche on your whole camp when I'm splifted.
Avalanche on your whole camp when I'm splifted. Who?
Fuck Dr. Who spot, bitch, don't get it twisted. I got connects like Federal Express to get the fresh package of bless. The dogs can't fetch.
I get the fresh package of bless. The dogs can't fetch. What's he saying right there?
He get the nickel bag of funk, bro.
No, he can get on the road. He can get on the road, get on the plane. He can get the fresh package of whatever he wants, and the dogs can't sniff it out.
Yeah, the nickel bag of funk.
Okay, you can throw that in.
The Mary
The Bombazi. That's what Redman calls it. The Bombazi.
Basically, that's back in them days. I hear about that. You don't want to put no. Like people used to stash stuff in tires when they wanted to move some product, and you wouldn't want to do that unless you had Michelin tires, because they seal up right and the dogs can't smell it.
Mm-hmm.
Got the clear spot from the rear block to bust till every nigga teardrop. Men, I fear not. Hold your nose and blow out till your ears pop.
And you wouldn't even understand what he just said unless you got bad sinuses.
Your nose blow out till your ears pop.
I mean, seriously. Hold your nose and blow out till your ears pop.
It's your crew suit you to shift. Now you claim that your gears lock. Whip this underground cannabis. I'm dangerous like John the Bomb analyst. Flip MCs like keys. My degrees freeze consecutively like EPMDL.
Woo.
Keys. Lick off a shot and hit your fan by mistake. So I erase the whole front row at the wake.
Lick off a shot and hit your fan by mistake. I erased the whole front row at the wake. He's talking about shooting up a funeral.
Yeah, taking out your whole family, bro.
Oh shit.
And he pushing the hearse in the first place.
Look, man, breaking down Redman lyrics is a no-no, but I'll let you continue.
Redman, he's definitely like doing therapy on wax because he ain't right in the head, bro. He ain't right in the head.
No, and again, because of all those things, should be in your top 5 lyricists.
Dude, he is. Already.
He should be.
He just got through talking about shooting up a funeral and don't even worry about it because I'm the one pushing the hearse in the first place.
He should be. He's longevity alone. He's one of the greatest rappers ever born.
Think about that, what I just said, and listen to it in those terms. Listen.
Your ears pop, since your crew suit you the shift that you claim that your gears lock. With this underground cannabis, I'm dangerous like John the Bomb analyst. Flip MCs like keys, my degrees freeze consecutively like EPMD LPs. Flick off a shot and hit your fan by mistake, so I erase the whole front row at the wake. I plant my escape in case Jay Wall snake busted. I'm the one pushing the hearse in the first place.
That is ill, man.
He's great.
That is ill as fuck. He done planned to shoot up a motherfucking funeral, and he got the shit set up so that he gonna get an easy getaway because he driving the hearse. Hey, Redman is ill, man.
Every time.
Confidence for you shaky ass folks. Pump for Rockefeller for the day he got smoked. Choke off this antidote, got you oak. Get roast by my lyrical Billy D45 coat.
That's ill. Are you actually?
He's not on this song, but like your boy that just like that had the chat and the Supernomaniacs. A shout out to another fat guy, Chub Rock.
We're gonna get to some of that.
Yeah. There's a Dark Side LP is underrated. Stub Rocks is saying, my guy. I gotta agree with that. It's some of my favorite tracks are sort of off of that album, right? Like off of them. So man, like what's my favorite track off that album, Stubbs? I bet you know too, man. But anyways, shoot, it's a remix. The one on the
DJ while he's talking. Cue up the next one, DJ while he's talking.
Yeah, DJ, do me a favor and run Mental Stamina, bro. J-Ru the Damager.
Hey, hold up. Give me a minute, man.
All right. Oh, jeez.
Hold on. Not yet, man. We're gonna get to some of y'all stuff. Hold on.
Mental Stamina will hit you, bro. Like that's this. I was just listening to it today and I was like, wow, like J-Ru's definitely an underrated rapper.
You want a buck, boy?
NATO would put our retirements at risk, gambling the retirement funds of teachers and first responders on Wall Street. NATO even believes social security.
I do love Super Love Man Love too, though. You're right. That is my favorite. You're right. He's right.
Stern, firm, and young, with a laid-back tongue. The aim is to succeed and achieve at 21, just like Ringling Brothers. Our days in the sound. After they done ask, cause the pros is profound. Do it for the strong, we do it for the meat. Boom it in your Jeeps. Or your Beamer, or your Legend, or your Benz. The rave of the town to your foes and your friends. So push it along. Trails we blaze.
Later, Mo.
The tranquility.
This is probably my favorite track of Tribe Called Quest, other than that and Electric Relaxation is right up there in the same stratosphere, I think.
Yeah, I'm over both of these songs. For me, it's like if I'm going back to listen to Tribe Called Quest, somehow bugging out every time. But I also love he produced the jazz, Stubbs.
Who Stubbs?
Okay, Stubbs is an MC, man. Stubbs is a guy I've known the better part of my life. Stubbs used to rap with me back in the day. Stubbs knows his music. If you're saying Pete Rock produced the jazz, Pete Rock produced the jazz.
I could believe it. It sounds like a Pete Rock joint when I get to listening to it.
A little bit, like, especially with the horns and all that, right? Like that's definitely Pete Rock's style. I didn't realize he was the producer of this one.
I think the Native Tongue Clique, the Jungle Brothers, and that whole, all of them, man, they all, I'm telling you, we had the conversation before, kids, about they all drop C's with each other. All of them, man. One of the Trips, one of the motherfuckers, probably the baddest motherfucker production-wise out of all of them is probably Large Professor.
He's not really, he's something else, though. He's not really one of them guys.
No. Large Professor.
If you're gonna talk about that guy, like me and Stubbs are like the guys to talk. Like so Large Professor shit blew up in, like, it blew up Canada side more so even than the US. The main source.
But that doesn't lessen him. I think talent wise, I think he's better than all of them.
Well, nah, but like, bro, Primo,
I can't say he's with that. He's not with that clique. I'm talking about that Native Tongue.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Large Professor wasn't really with them though. He kind of came.
He was in there. He got some joints in there.
No.
Yes, he did. Really. He got some joints in there with
later.
And Q-Tip.
That he produced.
I can't say he produced Jungle Brothers. I can't say he produced.
No, he's not on any of that.
But I can't say he didn't.
So, like, real talk, Stubbs.
No.
Can you name a track that that Large Professor produced for a Tribe Called Quest or anybody really Native Tongue related? Because I kind of can't. I can name a track where
guarantee you it's something involving Tip or Tribe. I guarantee you.
Like the closest thing would be Nas's album, because like both Tip, like, so the basically we've gone through the production of Illmatic. So Pete Rock, who we've talked about today, Q-Tip, who we've talked about today, clearly Primo, who we've talked about today a little bit, and Large Professor, I believe, rounds it out. Professor produced. Okay, you're right. Keep it rolling. Midnight Marauders. That would be that's the one track that I believe he produced. Good catch, Stubbs.
Sometimes they don't always call him Large Professor, and when they get a shout out in the rhyme, you might hear him call him the Extra P.
Yeah,
that's what they call it.
Yeah, extra. Like I say, extra P didn't. He wasn't like, he just wasn't a large contributor to the Native Tongue stuff, but definitely did keep it rolling. Like, we're talking about large contributors. You're talking about A, obviously Q-Tip, B, Prince Paul. Who else was really instrumental on the production? Like, obviously Ali Shaheed Muhammad did a lot of production there.
That's another name that we haven't talked about. Prince Paul.
Yeah, Prince Paul's the big guy. Like, he's the one who did most of it. There was an Extra P. You're right. There was an Extra P remix of Leaders of the New School. What's next?
See, Leaders of the New School, another fraction of the Native Tongue. I'm telling you, that whole clique was thick. What do you know about the Leaders of the New School, Trip? Reel it on in for a second, man. Tell me what you know.
Bro, Dinko D, Charlie Brown, just another case of that old PTA. They were like old school, the trio. And so it was like they had a lot of posse cuts because they were like on with other people. But I think Busta Rhymes is like obviously like the most popular and I guess talented of the trio because he's still around and they're not.
So to me, the apex of the Native Tongue clique, you have to start with the Jungle Brothers, and then you probably have to go either 1A or 1B or equal is De La Soul. And then everything else came underneath that.
You might even go as far back as Stetsasonic, because that's where Prince Paul is from, right? So Stetsasonic, Jungle Brothers, De La Soul's really where things started to pop off. But if you even go back,
Great correction.
Yeah. Hey, just not a correction. It's just an add-on to what you had. You're right on. You know what I mean? You're right on. Those are probably your three big groups initially. Then you also add Queen Latifah, Moni Love, Black Sheep in there. Leaders of the New School wasn't produced as a native tongue album. It's completely separate, but those guys are all together. Like they all wound up doing stuff together after the fact, right?
So we had a quasi. So what it looked like to me in that time, we had quasi pro-African, pro-African kind of pan-African kind of.
Well, yeah, that's when the dudes from Jersey, the conscious ones, the
red, the black, and the green.
No, not X-Clan. From Jersey, the little dude and the other dudes. Go ahead, I'll think of it.
I know you ain't talking about Naughty by Nature.
No, PRT.
No, they're from Jersey. Yeah, but
Poor Righteous Teachers.
No, they're not from Jersey though.
Not PRT. Damn it. It's a group, but I can't remember their name. Maybe it's Poor Righteous Teachers I'm thinking about. I don't know.
You got to think about it. I don't know exactly what we're talking about this time. He's got to be talking about Poor Righteous Teachers. I think so.
They're from Jersey? 100?
Yes, it's got to be PRT. Yeah, PRT.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Brick City, bro. Brick City.
Brick City. Okay. Love that shit.
Make you all your fists before we put hip hop on a brand new twist. A brand new twist with a holy, a mystic, so low key that you probably missed it. But yet it's so loud that it stands in the crowd. When the guy takes the beat, they bowed. So raise up, squire, adjust your attire. We have no time to wallow in the mire. If you're on a foreign path, then let me do the lead. Join in the essence of the cool out breed. You cool out to the music cause it makes you feel serene with the birds and the bees and all the things like when you gotta go to work.
It's almost like you'd have to be a horrible motherfucker to not ride this track. It was so jazzy and so complete. It was so well put together, and the snare is the superstar outside of the bass line. It's the snare and the bass line. That's it. Everything else just kind of meanders on this track, but it's the snare and the bass line. Listen to it.
Or staring into space when you're feeling berserk. I don't really mind if it's over your head.
Slightly the hi-hat.
Because the job of resurrectors is to wake up the dead. So pay attention, it's not hard to decipher. And after the horns, you can check out the viper.
Competition, the life come sideways.
Lyrically, this is probably the best I ever heard fight.
This song?
Probably.
No chance.
No,
not to me, and you might have heard something better, but that's just for me.
They must come straight way. Competition, them life come sideways. But competition, they must come straight way. How's about that? It seems like it's my turn again. All through the years, my mic has been my best friend. I know some brothers wonder, can Piper really kick it? Some even want to diss me. But why sweat it? I'm all into my music because that's how I make.
I excuse my language, man, and God bless the dead. But fight was always the lyrics I always forwarded past.
I'm with you, bro. And I don't think you should even feel bad about saying that. I think we all did. And this is why I'm saying if this is your tippy top 5, you should sort of go back and actually listen to some of his stuff. And I'm gonna double down on the 5 solo album. Super underrated, super dope 5. Hey, Trip Voorhees, I guarantee Trip Voorhees bumped that album at least once.
Which album?
The fight. Oh, you're going to MC Light, bro.
I give a female some love, man.
Bro, she never let me play with her feet.
She what?
You want to take the she never let me play with her feet.
Okay, I'm not
what the
worried
fuck
about
up, Trips, man? Goddamn. Kids don't even know what you're talking about, man.
I'm worried about.
Remember, she was like, if she like you on the second date, she lets you play with her feet.
Oh, okay. All right. It is this track.
Attention passengers, we are temporarily being held in the station due to cross signals. We will be moving shortly.
When you say you love me, it doesn't matter. It goes into my head as just chit chatter. You
still to this day, one of the dopest beats I ever heard. Fast
It's a dope beat. Yeah, it is.
To this day.
Yeah.
To this day, I've heard some dope fucking beat. I got some of my own, but this is one of the dopest ones I ever heard. And I know it's a sample.
may think it's egotistical or just very free, but what you say, I take none of it seriously. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you so. I'd let you.
Look at the style back then. The bangle earrings, the dookie ropes. This when I look back at hip hop's history, this is where I rest at right here.
Pretend to read me, and then you know, cause I hate when one attempts to analyze. Fact, I despise those who even try to look into my eyes to see what I am thinking. That dream is over, your yacht is sinking. I tell all of you, like I told all of them, what you say to me is just paper thin. Word.
I'm on Milk D watch right now.
Milk D, was he the DJ or?
It's her brother.
No. Oh yeah, Audio 2, right?
You got it.
All right.
I'm not the kind of girl to try to play a man out. I take the money and again, then break the hell out. No, that's not my strategy, not the game I play. I admit I play a game, but it's not done that way. Truly.
At the end of the day, I remember when I first saw this, I thought this was Play from Kid and Play.
I thought it was Play from Kid and Play 2. That might be Milk.
No, that's not it. Milk way smaller.
He's a tiny little guy, Milk. But anyways, keep going.
Now, what I wanted to say about this time back then is it was all about like the beats, dude. Let me just.
When I get involved, I give it my heart. I mean, my mama sold my body. I mean, every part. But if it doesn't work out, yo, it just doesn't. It wasn't meant to be, you know. It just wasn't. So I treat all of you like I treat all of them. And what you say to me is still paper thin. In one ear and right out the other. Herders mumble jumble. Lover, I don't pay attention. I don't concentrate. You ain't got the bait that it takes to hook this. Sucker, you missed. I put feelings.
Them bangle earrings, man. Them bangle earrings.
Inside, I know who I am. My name is Light. Is your name Sam? Because if it is, step off. Grab your coat and get lost. Wrap your scarf around your throat and go back.
This is at the time everybody's trying to get that high top fade. Maybe a high top fade with that little part, half moon part in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Hit the road, Sam. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Sam. Don't you
Yo,
come
Sturch is on the bus, y'all.
Who?
Keep playing.
So now I take precautions.
D-Nice. That's D9. We ain't even
Is
talking.
D-Nice here? Yeah, that's her. D-Nice used to DJ for her, though, at the time.
That's BDP shit.
Yeah, but he also used to DJ for her.
To my mate, I do not touch until the third or fourth date. Then maybe we'll kiss for the fifth or sixth time that we meet. Because a date without a kiss is so incomplete. And then maybe I'll let you play with my feet. You can.
Hey,
bro.
Trip, take that baby oil off, man. She ain't gonna never let you play with her feet.
Bro, I put her foot like right here on my chest and get it all sweaty and moist and.
You need to play that video, goddamn.
Lord, I'm gonna get out of here. Let me get out of here. I know what to do.
You play with her.
I'll straighten Trip out.
I thought I saw him research on the subway or whatever. There we go. Oh, here we go. Now we're talking. Stubbs for you, bro.
Nightmare.
What you need is like a good neighbor. State Farm is there.
State Farm can help with your claim.
Well, I feel better.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Okay, let me just say this real quick before this track gets all the way into flow. I think one of the things I could say about this is Premier, right?
Primo,
Pete Rock. They don't want to ever let the scratching and cutting get away from hip hop. Period. And I think it belongs there. I don't give a fuck how far carried away hip hop gets. You gotta have some of this. This is the some of the originating portions of hip hop. It starts here, right?
It's a lost art, unfortunately. That's
no, it's not lost. It's just not popular right now.
It's like why it's a lost art is just because the cost of vinyl is astronomical. It's not the same. You know what I mean? Like back in the days, you can get an album for $12. You know, heck of a lot more pricey right around now. Sample clearance too, as my guy's saying too. It's a little tough out there.
It's a lost art. I think you just got to be willing. You just got to be willing to inject it and be insistent about it. And I think that's the bottom line.
Yeah. Another gang strong for trap.
Featuring the one and only. Hella, Roy. Nice and smooth.
Yo, look at how young Greg was back then, bro.
A gangstar has got to be the short shot. Nice and smooth has got to be the short shot. A gangstar has got to be the short shot. Nice and
I wouldn't mind grabbing that. I wish I can grab that shirt. I'd rock that. That striped shirt the Guru got on.
Has got to be the short shot. A Greg Nice, a Greg LCD. Dominum bass, so we rock for a fee, not for free. Maybe I'll do it for charity. Now my employer or my employee is making Greg and ICE very MAD. You never ever think of.
Now he's talking about the industry, right? He said my employer or my employee is making Greg and SCE very MAD.
Don't go looking to Greg Nice for
me.
Don't go looking at Greg Nice for lyrical excellence. He's just got the dopest flow of them all.
Oh, I work too hard for my royalty.
I put lead in your ass and drink a cup of tea.
They was figuring out the record industry, man. It's just like, motherfucker, you got me out here doing all this and I ain't making no money. Fuck you, man. I'm fuck around and shoot your ass now. That's what they saying.
Give me, I work too hard for my royalty. Put lead in your ass and drink a cup of tea. Easter Red Alert and Kid Capri. Ooh la la, we. I say Muhammad Ali. You say glass just clay.
Did y'all see who I saw in there?
Yeah, Red Alert and Kid Capri.
There they were. I almost see Biz back there, but I know that
Biz in a red hat.
That ain't Biz. He got a mouth like him, but that ain't Biz. Biz way bigger.
Ali, you say glass just clay. I say butter, you say parquet. It's alright if you wanna make a sway. On my way uptown, took the deuce to the trade. I originate, they duplicate. I praise the Lord and keep the faith. It's alright, keep biting at the bait. 92, 1 year later, peace out, Premier, take me out with the fader. I chant eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I wreck the mic like a pimp.
Guru.
Bro, Guru.
Anybody?
Well, rest in peace. That's for one.
Rest in peace,
Number
bro.
one.
You know who reminds me of this guy? And since we're on the Guru thing, for today's generation, for you young bucks out there, the guy who kind of reminds me of Guru, who has a very similar cadence and voice to me, is Dave East. I don't know if any of y'all listen to Dave East, but I find that they have a very similar voice and very similar monotone delivery. But I consider Guru the Dave East of the past and Dave East the Guru of the future.
Dave East, I heard him in a when I had given all up on hip hop. I heard him. I heard Benny the Butcher.
Yeah.
And I think him, Benny the Butcher, and some other dude in a freestyle. They caught a fucking cipher in the Bronx, and somebody was just over there beating the shit out of something with some sticks and stones, just making a beat, and them motherfuckers was kicking it. And from that point, I said, all right, I can never, ever just forego hip hop in my life. I got to just remember where that shit comes from, and there's always going to be some people that's going to really stand on hip hop and keep those root elements in front of them, man. And Dave East, Benny the Butcher, and what's that dude? He's got that twisted mouth. What's his name?
Oh, you're talking about Benny the Butcher's partner.
Conway, right?
Conway the Machine.
Yeah. Them motherfuckers, man. I'll lean on those motherfuckers. Yep. Right on, Stub. Right on.
Like, I'm surprised you. So, have you listened to any of their shit though? For real? Have you listened to any of the Griselda stuff?
Yes, I heard that after you told me about it.
Yeah, I thought so. Like, it's dope as all. It's if y'all ain't listened to any of the Griselda stuff, you just kind of heard some Benny here and some Conway there. The Griselda stuff is dope. It's probably the dopest stuff in a real long time. Gotta admit,
man, it is some dope shit. I ain't gonna lie to you, for this time and era, it's real dope.
Yeah.
Fem shows. Here's how it goes. I am a genius. I mean this. I shape this. You'll tape this. I'm kind of fiendish. You wish that you could come into my neighborhood. Meaning my mental state. Still I'm 5'8". Crazy as I want to be because I make it orderly. You could say I'm sort of the boss. So get
lyrically. I always thought he was. To me, Premier was a star. His tracks, and he just happened to be a guy that could fit it. Those first couple of joints that I heard of was what was his first joint that I heard of? That first joint that came out that had a video. Damn. But anyway,
I believe that's Manifest.
Yeah, the words I meant. That was dope lyrically, but it wasn't like elite shit.
So for me, it's a little bit of a difference in time, right? So at the time, you buy an album and you listen to the entire album and you go, okay, well, like this was a friggin' masterpiece, or it had a couple of songs that were good, or it had no songs that were good. Like that was sort of the way I listened to music at the time. These Gangstar albums, outside of that first one that Manifest was on, the next 3, maybe 4 albums, I think there's 5 of them, but like they're masterpieces. They just are. Hard to Earn's a masterpiece. Jeez, what's the one before Hard to Earn? Like those, I think it's Take It Personal. Is that the name of the album? No, that's the track.
Is dope as shit,
bro. Those albums, if you listen to those albums as an actual thing, they're masterpieces.
Talking about Stub
Daily Operation. Thanks, brother. Daily Operation is a friggin' masterpiece, right? And I say that by way of Primo's production, but also by way of this guy's delivery and introspective lyrics. Now, was he? Some people like the monotone thing that he does. Some people don't. It's a little bit of an acquired taste.
It was perfect for what Pete Rock's.
Yeah, Step Into the Arena was a great LP too, man. That's really the one that sort of started folks listening. I liked Step Into the Arena because it was sort of them moving a little bit away from just being a much more like pro-black centric group, to just being a hip hop group, and Daily Operation ties it all together. Just Daily Operation is a masterpiece, bro. No question.
But bro, I was like, even after Guru and Primo kind of broke up, like Jazzmatazz, bro. Come on.
Yeah. He went out there, did his own thing, all new producers, and held his own, and made a bunch of cash off of that. Right? Again, I do have to say, a lot of people with that the monotone flow that he has, Some people don't like it, you know. It does sometimes fall on deaf ears. Bit of an acquired taste, but for those 3 to 4 Gangstar albums, if you haven't had the opportunity, download them, jump on Spotify, and just listen to them through. They're dope. Bust your shit, like, man. I'm just saying, there's a laundry list of dope Gangstar.
BYS.
Yeah, Bust Your Ship. Man, Now You're Mine. Like, that's my track. That track's one of my favorite tracks. And lyrically, like, you need to play that if we're talking about Guru as like a rapper. And the reason why I'm saying that is that on that track, the homie like just he was playing basketball one day and was like, yo, I'm gonna write a track just based on how I ice these fools on the court. And it's one of the greatest tracks as far as I'm concerned ever. Anyways, it's not one of the greatest tracks ever, but I love it because it's just basketball trash talk on the microphone.
It's not like, bro, it's not like a diss track, but it is.
It is in its own right. You know what I mean? I love that song.
Check this out. This is why I say he the greatest at the time. I mean, from what he did at the time.
Post lightning fast websites with 100% network uptime, all with 24/7 priority text.
Here I am, R-A-W, a terrorist, here to bring trouble to phony MCs. I move on and seize, I just conquer and solve another rapper with ease. Cause I'm at my apex and others are below, nothing but a milliliter. I'm a kilo, second to none, making MCs run, so don't try to step to me, cause I ain't the one. I believe rappers just like Tylenol, and they know it, so I don't see why you all try to front, perpetrating a stunt, when you know that I smoke you up like a blunt. I'm genuine.
Didn't nobody really know what a blunt was. Couldn't have. Not at that time.
I'm like Gucci, raw like sushi. The stage of rage is what rap did.
The stage of rage is what rap did to me, to make me want to create chaos and mayhem, cold rock a party into the AM. What?
To me, to make me want to create chaos and mayhem, cold rock a party until the 8 a.m. I'll make a muscle, grab the mic and hustle. While you stand dazed and amazed, I'll bust a little rhyme with authority, superiority, and captivate the whole crowd's majority. The rhymes I use definitely amuse, better than Dynasty or Hill Street Blues. I'm sure to score and door for more without a floor, cause I get raw.
Ready and willing, bro.
It just gets better and better.
Give a speech like a reverend, rapper saw separate.
Just those 2 lines right there. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I wrote a speech like a reverend. Rapper star Severin. And in my lifetime, believe I've never been beaten or eaten or just taken out. You know, to come think about it, I keep MCs looking out. Get the fuck out of here. This is in 80s, man.
And in my lifetime, believe I've never been. Give a speech like a reverend, rapper saw Severin. And in my lifetime, believe I've never been beaten or eaten and just taken out. You know, come to think about it, I keep MCs looking out and real nervous when I'm at your service. So give me that title.
Talking about LL, give me that title, boy. You don't deserve this. I work like a slave to become the master. And when I say a rhyme, you know that it has to.
Boy, you don't deserve this. I work like a slave to become a master. And when I say a rhyme, you know that it has to be perfectly fitted. Cause I'm committed, the entertainer and trainer and Kane will get with it. I go and flow and grow to let you know I damage you. I'm not an amateur, but a professional, unquestionable, without doubt, superb. So full of action, my name should be a verb.
All right.
My voice will float on every note when I clear my throat. That's all she wrote. The minute that the cane starts to go on, believe it's gonna be smooth sailing, so on. As I put other rappers out of their misery, get them in a battle and make them more history. Ruling and schooling and sees that I'm drooling. Watch them all take a fall as I sit back cooling on my throne with the bronze microphone. God bless the child that can hold his own, cause I can roar. Ain't it good, kid?
I'm telling you, elite. We talking about 87.
Killing like a villain. The meaning of raw is ready and willing to do whatever is clever. Take a loss never, and the rhymes I bust coming off as must, and I come off hard with rhymes that are odd. I rip the microphone and leave it scarred. Never smoking or hitting or taking a sniff. Only question MCs that be trying to riff. I get strong and titanic. You work like a mechanic. Dick MCs panic. They all get frantic and skeptic, like a girl on a contraceptive. It's
whoa. MCs panic. They all get frantic and skeptic, like a girl on a contraceptive. As I rock with, hey, what you expected? I'll get raw for you just like a warrior, rapping like a samurai, and I'll be damned if I ever let a Fisher Price MC hang. The rhymes are toy, nothing but yink. Get the fuck. He's the best, dude, ever.
I rock, but hey, what you expected? I'll get raw for you just like a warrior, rather like a samurai, and I'll be damned if I ever let a Fisher Price MC hang. The rhymes are toy, nothing but yin yang. So if we battle on the microphone, bring your own casket in tombstone, and I'ma preach your funeral. Tell me who in the world could ever come with more? I get bored.
Tell me, man. Tell me, man. He the best. He the best that ever did it. And when you give him that, you talking about somebody. To me, now, kids, when I judge, when I go to judgment phase, and I get to that final handful of dudes that can really, really get down. Number one, I imagine space and time. Number one. Second thing is, how unique were you with your metaphorical flow? Did you flow? How metaphorically gifted was that flow? And I'm telling you, for 87, this motherfucker, everybody, every one of your favorite rappers that came after him had him as the epitome of what you got to be lyrically to claim yourself as the best. Nobody better than him.
There's only one guy, man, and he kind of
nobody
smelled the same like him, man. They're very similar. All I can say is, at the time, I was with you. I've never owned a Rakim album, period. I'll say this out loud. I've owned up to A Taste of Chocolate, I think was the last Big Daddy Kane album I bought. But I had them all. I had Long Live the King. I had them all, right? Like I'm a Kane fan. But over the years, I've had the opportunity to go back and go like, yo, people talk big about Rakim. And even today, I was actually listening to some Rakim. Rakim he's the god they call him it for a reason. He is that guy. He's
lyrically, he can't fuck with Kane.
He actually eats Kane's lunch.
Man, you crazy.
Bro, like the greatest hip-hop love song of all time is not I Need Love, it's Mahogany.
It's got to be Rakim, right? Like it kind of is across the board, and it's something you would have to go back and look at for your own.
Trip just made me want to put my foot in his mouth, so I got to do it.
Shit, Mahogany? Come on, bro. Or shit, Microphone Fiend. Come on. Bro, I was a teen.
Oh, you went to Slick Rick with it?
He the one started it. I ain't do it.
This is ludicrous.
All right, who called for ludicrous? Oh, you don't need me. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Just file a claim on the app or call us.
Lovely home, by the way.
You made me
like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Man, the world's so evil, though.
A teenage love. A teenage love. Don't hurt me again. Don't. A teenage love.
I love this dude too, man.
Hands in there.
A teenage love. Don't hurt me again. Don't.
Is that Dana Dane? Dana Dane, bro.
From the old school crew, a serious situation. We all go.
Oh, so that's a whole conversation. I'm gonna let y'all have at it. Go ahead, whichever one of y'all want to go.
I'm just saying it's Dana Dane, and wow.
Nightmares in the night.
For straight.
That ain't Dana Dane, man.
Is it not Dana Dane?
That's not Dana Dane.
Well, he definitely got Dana Dane's outfit.
That ain't Dana Dane.
Slick Rick. But bro, I mean, this is more of a breakup song.
It is.
Whereas like Mahogany's like, come here, girl song.
Anyways, I love Rick.
It's a hookup song.
I'm gonna put some Orange Juice Jones on your ass in a minute.
Anybody who asks, I tell people we're related.
What's the joint? Shit. Go ahead, play it.
Through. It deals with your feelings, so hear what I say. It's like a day when nothing seems to go your way. Pause this, two people, they really like each other. He says there's no one else and she claims there is no other. The feeling's the same and you receive a notion to reveal your inner thoughts and deeply hid emotions.
Hey, them niggas was right though, wasn't they? They was clean, man. Them dookie ropes, that bangle chain right there. Dope.
Ricky had it going, man. He's making money.
A teenage love. A teenage love. Don't hurt me again. Don't. A teenage love. Don't. A teenage love.
This is easily one of the best rap albums of all time.
They were originating everything, man. Nothing.
What up, FFG?
They didn't have FFGs in here. What up? What up, FF? They didn't have a standard to go by. They were creating it as they were going. That's what's so dope about it to me. They were absolutely setting the tone.
Who made the song Mind Sex?
Mind Sex?
Yeah. What's the name of that fucking group?
I don't know if I even heard of it.
Yeah, you haven't heard Mind Sex?
I don't know.
Come on, man.
I don't know. You have to when you figure out what the artist is, just put it in the private chat or something.
Oh, it's Dead President.
Precious times, hoping they won't end. Tell your mother about your lover, also your best friend. You're mighty proud while you're holding their hands, boys. Yeah, that's my woman, and girls, yeah, that's my man. This person brings a certain warmth to your heart, and everything seems.
So I think this was, if you had to.
Close with the channel live stuff. Sorry, bro. Go.
Kids and Trips. I think if you had to think about it back in this time, I think they were not only catering this joint to Slick Rick style, but if there was ever going to be a joint that crossed over, which was R&B, was like the crossover music, then you need to find a joint that fit into that R&B, vein, and this would have been it. He basically rapped over a slow song. Right.
Well, if you go through that album,
am I somewhere in the neighborhood of right?
Not really, no. Like if you go through that album, there's a lot of, huh?
You would say that.
Well, no, there's a lot of songs that are pop on this album. This album this album kind of blew up on its own because a lot of the songs are very pop leaning. Mona Lisa's super pop leaning.
Okay.
Mona Lisa's got dope
I was
song.
trying to make a point of MCs and rappers trying to get some of that R&B money, and this was an attempt to do that.
Well, if that's what you're saying, this album is riddled with that type of stuff. All of the better part of this Slick Rick album, actually the entire thing, is really pop leaning. It's really sort of R&B-ish.
Crossover.
It is kind of crossover, but it's dope. For the time, super straight up. Every track on this song, every song on this album kind of still tracks today.
Mm-hmm.
I got it.
So great at the start, for she loves him and he also loves her, and it's hard to turn back to who the person you were. But later on, problems start to occur, and the bond which combines y'all turn into a blur. For the feelings were the same. Now here's the score: you love them too much, and they don't love you anymore due to your attitude, another, or because you're not being true, or maybe they're just plain sick of seeing you. Word. Now it might seem strange, you better take hints quick and make the right change.
The Kangos, the Dookie cables, man, the whole shit, man.
Bro, the leather trenches, bro.
The leather trenches, the suits, everything, man.
A teenage love. teenage love. Don't hurt me again. Don't. A teenage love.
I think what you can't forget about Slick Rick is he's from a completely different continent and somehow came over to the United States and fit right and jived right on in with hip hop right there at the mecca of it.
Bro,
That's the color of the plane. I don't think you overlooked that.
He was like the original Idris Elba.
Yeah,
that's a good way to put it.
Wow. It is a good way, except we just bigged up Idris Elba in a major way. Yo, Idris Elba's more like the new world Keith, the new world Slick Rick. Slick Rick's he's an originator and probably the single most sampled human being on the planet.
And to think this is a New York dominated industry at that time. And this motherfucker comes from the UK and just comes over here and straight up put his feet down, and motherfuckers respected him.
Well, it's got a lot to do with the shit he did with Dougie Fresh, right? That whole man.
I think because his voice was different and his cadence. I think that's just everything.
6 minutes.
6 minutes. Excuse me, Dougie Fresh, you're on, right? That's Slick Rick, right? That's like 85, bro. You know what I mean? Sorry, like 80, 86. That's early stuff. And he just came to the country and was just flowing with this doodle beatbox. Somebody got to rap. So it was kind of Slick Rick.
Children's story, bro.
Oh, the whole album's dope. The whole album's really good. One of them, again, probably a pretty slept on album, but Mona Lisa's, I love Mona Lisa. Great song.
Oh, but Nomad, bro, like Mindsets from Dead Prez, that's a song that you can put on with your lady, bro.
I'll
MC Ricky D.
Let me see. I'll try to get
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance and I saved hundreds. With all the money I saved, thought I'd buy stilts. Hi, honey.
Things done got too far gone.
Okay, fair enough.
Let the girls know what they got to do for us.
Original Gold Digger.
Oh, what the heck? Let's get married and have a son named Eric. No big deal, no sweat. Oh, what the heck?
I think Eric Sermon was telling a real story here. What you think? He said, "Oh, what the heck? Let's get married and have a son named Eric. No big deal, no sweat. I was in for a big surprise when a judge came by me and passed my green eyes, brain lock. Go ahead."
I don't think it's a real story, but what I will say is Eric Sermon's one of the more underrated storytelling rappers out there. If most of his EPMD raps are stories.
I just think this was dope, probably one of the dopest beats he put together.
Let's get married and have a son named Eric. No big deal, no sweat. I was in for a big surprise when I saw the judge hammer past my green light ring lock. My whole damn head was malfunctional because I forgot to co-sign a prenuptial agreement. Now her case is hard like cement. I have no files or all the money she spent. She has a car, 1990 Jaguar fly kit with chrome rims that's 5-star she bought when I was away on tour.
In my bank account, getting more
and more money.
She got paid.
It wasn't funny. Talking to myself, oh, you big dummy, just my luck to get stuck with a marriage and a baby who's raised in a gold carriage.
Hit my bank account, getting more and more money. She got paid, it wasn't funny. Talking to myself, oh, you big dummy, just my luck that I'm stuck with a marriage and a baby who lays in a gold carriage. And I can't leave. If I do, she gets half.
Not the cash.
Just the whole damn bass of money, so I chill and act so sweet. Kiss her feet. Can't picture being in the street, so I give a fake smile and a fake laugh. Fake everything
so I can keep on my cash. Fake talk like I love you so much, but wishing she gets hit by a Mack truck.
So I can keep on my cash. Fake talk like I love you so much, but wishing she gets hit by a Mack truck. Next time, if there's one I know that most women strictly out for the gold.
What was part of this is that thing, huh?
What was part of this what goes around comes around. That's why she reels the bend and you ride Greyhound. Oh, just your luck. Take off the wedding band. Put it thumb, time to hitchhike in the road. You walk the pain from the corns get bigger. Not to mess with a ghost.
This is just like you get practice.
She's a ghost. She's a ghost. She's a ghost. Yeah, APMD's in effect. DJ Scrap on Flex way. This squad.
That's the baddest motherfucker I ever heard do it.
On the cut, he's not to be messed with. You know what I mean?
The baddest motherfucker I ever heard do it. Period.
On the cut, he is one of the illest. It's funny you skipped right over my guy Pear Smith though. Pear Smith,
he ain't my favorite guy.
Oh, you gonna play that?
This is my joint right here.
This is one of my favorite albums. Actually, I love all the EPMD albums, man. Like, is there an exception? There's no exception. Put me in
Slaughter.
Right up your alley, Trip. Where you
Slaughter.
Just right up your alley, Trip.
Yeah, Chick Voorhees is ready to go.
Man, Slaughter.
Look at this breakdown right here.
Code name ED. Check on the 1, 2, 3. Blackmail, hard MC. Rap records later. A brother.
Code name ED. Check on the 1, 2, 3. Blackmail, hard MC. Dope. He's talking about how they talking about him on the radio, right? Code name ED. Check on a 1, 2, 3. Blackmail, hard MC. Talking about how the police could be describing him. So that's just dope.
Man, Slaughter. Man, Slaughter. Code name ED. Check on the 1, 2, 3. Blackmail, hard MC. Rap records later. A brother on the scene with a machine gun and one magazine. Wanted $500,000.
What was
FFG's
alone? 6 million request?
Say what?
What was FFG's request?
Killer Priest, Black August, bro.
Yeah.
What was it?
Black August, Killer Priest.
All right, hold on.
Because I put him in a yoke and snapped his neck.
We'll get the FFGs and we'll get to the one of y'all was talking about. We'll get to right away, man. Let me get to this one. Let's finish this one up a little bit.
For the buyer loan, $2 million for the microphone. If you see him, dial 5-Slayer, a hotline to the governor and maze, all with ammo, a weapon that's mine, all black and rap, strap tech 9, sounds a clip, tip the rip on the sneak tip. The boy's about to flip, man.
I love this whole album, bro.
Man, Slaughter. They call it manslaughter.
I told you, kids, man, we got way more in common.
Manslaughter. Code name MD. Rapping fanatic, no short taking, black Asiatic hitman. Keeps my belt unbuckled. Book a look on my grill with no signs of a chuckle. Laughter, cause my name ain't Casper. The friendly ghost while smoking MC if I have the quick bath. Like Alakazoo, Alakazam, and I'll be damned. Cause my rhymes slam like Bam Bam
Rubble. Partner code name is E-Double.
I ain't gonna lie. Now listen to EPMD. He the one I fast forward.
Bro, you're missing the plot, bro. The slow flow of Pear Smith is a thing to be appreciated, dog. I love it. And like, I'll be frank with you, as a younger guy, I was the same way. I was like, yo, Eric is just a guy. He's got so much more flair. But straight up, the slow flow of Pear Smith is a staple in hip hop, and it should always be.
I think Eric chews his motherfucking ass up, spits him out.
Partner code name is E-double. It's no hazel green eyes that keep my man in trouble. Girls ride the tip. Brothers on the sack. I had to change my name to Bruce Wayne, also known as Batman. Grab the Bozak with this hand. As I slay a manslaughter.
I think these next bars is decent too for Eric. Let me see.
They call it manslaughter.
This might be his best rhymes on this maybe on this album. No.
Man, fully strapped, and I quote, don't flex, last chump who did he got smoked.
Madman fully strapped, and I quote, don't flex, last chump who did he got smoked undercover. What? Get the fuck out of here.
Now I be strapped, and I quote, don't flex. Man, fully strapped, and I quote, don't flex, last chump.
Now you know the whole song is designed around a police scanner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting a call in, and they're describing who the police are going to deal with. And you know, the description is everything. Madman fully strapped, and I quote, don't flex, last chump who did he got smoked undercover. So it goes there.
Man, fully strapped, and I quote, don't flex, last chump who did he got smoked undercover. Not DT, but ED. I'm winning while you're spending my records on 33. I'm the original. Never did crime, I'm no criminal, no static. Back a 45 automatic. Like cats, rap, holding my Johnson. Walk on the street, I vigilante Charles Bronson.
Vigilante Charles Bronson.
As the B kick, faces plate on the N1 done. Down sharply in the blade and shogun. First suckers disrupt the brain of a sucker MC. They can't count 1, 2, 3. I managed to damage the roast, the whole membrane is sing. Like a bass head doing cocaine. I kill a farmer, fuss his daughter, cause I'm the E-double. And this is manslaughter.
That beat is just stupid.
Actually, it's this Parrish Smith verse that's the good one.
All right, I got to get to what? Okay, I got to get to who was that FFG that wanted to kill a priest?
Yeah.
What was the name of the joint?
Black August.
Oh, get my steps in.
Don't let it stop you there, Trip Voorhees. You just make sure you don't kill anybody in the process.
After I lost my daughter Caitlin to leukemia, I swore I would help all our families going through hard times. I'm fighting to lower prescription drug costs so middle-class families keep more of what they earn, because you and I both know that we deserve better.
What's up? What's the deal? Feel so good tonight. Yo, this is the album right here. Yeah. Killer Priest, I'm back. I'm feeling good too. Yeah.
Okay, first of all, who did this beat?
Say what? Who did the beat?
Yeah.
It wasn't a Jizza?
Fuck.
I'm gonna have to assume somebody Wu-Tang related. Maybe not. Maybe not.
This beat don't have any hop to it like this.
It sounds like more like a Jizza beat than it does a RZA beat, but I would think it's probably
it's got some Wu-Tang elements to it, and I think that's intentional. But
FFG says The Alchemist. All right, play it. Yeah, that would make sense. It does.
Up in the house, yeah. What up, Brooklyn? Right about now. What up, New York? Yo, man. What up, Cali? Yo, what up, ready to get into this? Yeah, yo, count them all down, intimate. Can't believe I'm seeing it with my own eyes on yo. Yeah. Welcome to Black August. This is the portrait of a poor kid that came to fortune back before when I had nothing. Just a pad busting dope rhymes like coke lines. I carefully laid them out to separate them. Then I would lace one. It made my face numb. Strung from a bass drum. Then I would pass the pad like glass to my man and he would take some. He used to shake from overdosing. We both indulging. Eyes were bulging, remaining focused, but the brain was frozen. It's the same as smoking. We were just there, filled with a pen.
I'm more impressed with the beat.
The dope ass beat. This ain't Killer Priest's lyrical masterpiece, man.
No, Killer Priest is he's on his shit now.
I'm saying this song isn't his the best example of him being a crazy rapper.
I know he dope now. Don't get
bro.
me.
His basic instructions before leaving Earth, like the guy's dope. There's no questions about it.
I'm just my first impressions of the song. The beat got a lot of hop to it.
It's nasty, man. It is. I like it.
The tape would start rolling. It took us way back like 8 tracks. It's so amazing. My man used to say that this ain't rap. Preach your lyrics are too vivid. They're more like pictures.
If I didn't know no better, I thought this was a Nas joint.
Really?
Yeah. Listen to it.
You can feel it, yo, you're gifted. It flows like liquid, mystic. I never witnessed such thing that's beautiful. It's unusual, like I'm saying Black August, and that's the chorus. It's so gorgeous, it's so beautiful, unusual. Remember, y'all, this is no rap. These are moments captured on the Kodak, so hold that. So say Black August.
Nas, early 2000, late 90s.
Yeah, I agree. I hear where you're coming from.
And that's the chorus. It's that gorgeous. It's so beautiful, unusual. Remember, y'all, this is no rap. These are moments captured on the Kodak. So hold that. So hold that. So hold that. So
Hey, carry conversation for a second. Let me pop out and let my girl in right quick.
Why didn't you keep the beat rolling?
Well, because you gotta stop.
Yeah.
Well,
just talk for a second. I'll be right back.
I could have run it there and back. Yeah, no, Killer Priest, pretty dope MC across the board. His first album is a great listen. I haven't followed too much Killer Priest after that first album. Second album is like okay. First album real good though. Yeah. Hey, Trip Voorhees, what's popping with Sports Chicago style?
Bro, like I got my own show, bro. Every Monday, I got like an exercise blog because I'm a fatty. And so like I'm doing stuff to get into shape. And then like on Tuesdays, Chef Trips, he does like video recipes and shit like for food and like different stuff that you can make like healthier because he don't be fucking with those devils, those white devils. You know, it's like no white rice and no starch or like none of that dairy, like you soy and like it's a whole thing. And then like I'm working with Coach Tripping and we're doing like some self-defense stuff that we're still in production with. And then like bro, for the Bears, like on Fridays, we do pre-games, and then Sundays we do post-game wrap-ups, and then we're gonna kick off some Bulls and some Blackhawk shit. So that's Sports Chicago style. That's the channel, and that's the website, and all the social medias and shit, bro.
Hey, my bad, dog. I'm back. I gotta let FFG still get his shit in, man. My fault, FFG. I had to go let the lady in the house in.
Yeah, yo, Jews are falling like leaves in autumn. I hope you caught one. Please hold it close to you. It's for the pupils of the new school. It's chicken noodles, it's vitamins, rice and beans, a nice cuisine. You like it steamed or broiled? Grab it like soil. This mic is royal. My pen's a needle, my arms a notepad, my thoughts a dope bag, my room's a coke lab. I cooked up tunes. My homie smoked hash. He used to throw cash out of ball fishes. They want the raw lyrics. Shoot it or sniff it. You call it alcoholics. Listen, smiling while nodding off. Mumbling, this kid has talent, then pass out while spilling their course and open up another gallon. I smoke from a challenge. Who won the challenge?
He's telling a hell of a story here, man. I'm gonna have to listen to this again.
I spoke in balance, reach the magic band, presto, there goes your ghetto. Color, they increase your level. Sprinkle some behind, you gotta love it, baby. And that's the chorus. It's so gorgeous, it's so beautiful, unusual. Remember, y'all, this is no rap. These are moments captured on the Kodak, so hold that. So say Black August, and that's the chorus. It's that gorgeous, it's so beautiful, unusual. Remember, y'all, this is no rap. These are moments captured on the Kodak, so hold.
Now in Chicago, you throw up a sign like that. You see the sign he's throwing up in this image.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean, Trips?
What up, folks?
For those that don't understand what Trip just said, he's talking about GDs.
It's like, bro, Kedz is still looking like, what the fuck is that? It's like it's a street gang, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, I get them with the rhythm, twist them, spitting like exorcism, a poet's wisdom. Give them vision, dialections, listen to productions. Let it flush your system, keep discussions to a minimum. Watch me, I'm winning them. Those in prison from the bling bling, locked up like Sing Sing, and just like King Sing root. Right into it like a fruit, it gives sight to the blind, speech to the mute. Yeah, it's all day, man. I can't believe what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying, what I'm seeing. I can go all day long for life. Yo, I can just keep going.
He's spitting on this motherfucker now.
Can't always is. He's good.
Check it out, yo. My heart is jaded, stargazing, R-rated, nickel-plated, manipulated. It gets better when it ages, so amazing. I say amen, so majestic. Emotions like a slow record, it's like an epic or a shiny necklace. Catch me at the guest list in Black August. Check my performance. I'm brainstorming, rain pouring, no need for umbrellas. I'm trying to tell you, bestseller, thoughts angelic, soft like velvet. Take off my helmet, the warrior's home like Torians in Rome. Yo, know what I mean?
You'll never go get short of lyrics when you dealing with anything Wu-Tang. Anything Wu-Tang, the challenge is to outmeasure yourself lyrically than what you just did. And it's almost an impossible task. What you have to do is keep reinventing yourself. You know, maybe I think your style, that the style that people know you from, I think you gotta stay in that vein, but then you gotta keep bending your vernacular a little bit. I think that's the magic to Wu-Tang.
No, it's just to me, they set a standard, you know, when it comes to lyrical capability. There's a bit of a standard there. This guy definitely keeps that standard. He's not a core member of Wu-Tang, but he is. And when his album drops, you kind of have to listen to it. By all means, you know, take the opportunity to listen to the Killer Priest LP. It's actually really good, and it's more introspective than you might get from a standard Wu-Tang album.
What I'm about to play for y'all, and we gotta get ready to close this because I gotta go. But listen,
Stub Rock, brother.
I gotta play this because this joint I'm about to put on here for y'all. Not only, and I'm definitely gonna probably get some argument from Kedz because he's sounds like more of a Wu-Tang connoisseur than me. But Wu-Tang is like I'll take it, but not like I'm digging into every layer of what they doing. I'm not. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I do know the dopeness of their lyricism. And sometimes, like, this is the best beat I ever heard Jizza put together. And I'm just going to say that. And I think lyrically, let's just say Method Man made he made some shit on here. But also, this is probably the first, this is the first time I've seen a filthy ass rap group. I'm talking about real hood gutter shit make and cross over to a mainstream movie soundtrack. This is the first time I heard it outside of, I guess, Coolio, but that shit wasn't gutter. But I'm going to show you what I'm talking about.
It's time to redefine web hosting with Bluehost Cloud, the new platform built for WordPress creators.
This is probably one of the dopest versions of, okay, when you call Jizza and say, I need you to make me a beat that fits this soundtrack and it sounds like this movie, and I need you to make it sound like Batman, right? Listen to this beat.
Skinhead. Who does she think moving on my operation? These are this outfit. You want to go to war? You leave me no choice in this matter. I'll make you an offer you can't refuse.
All right, fellas. Let's survive so chill.
I got your mind twisted. Unrealistic wavelength draining on your brain strength inflicted. Crosswords puzzling you.
You hear the Batman in there. Doom, 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 doom.
Questioning your own mental health, yeah. It's like a maze within itself, yeah. Check the grimy, slimy, criminal, individuality. Searching for the dark night, lurking in the shadows of the city. Hero with Jiggy, my crime committee, robbing every Gotham thing.
Those chords on that motherfucker. Fuck you, RZA, with that bullshit. That's crazy. You hear them chords back there? Don't.
You ain't blind. Take a journey through the mind of a redneck.
Check out Dirty coming out of this. What's this little walk he does here? It's my favorite thing in the whole.
The mind bender, 3-time felony offender, demented, brain cemented, mixing the blender.
Okay, we gotta stop right there. Hold on. That was dope for no goddamn reason at all. It's the mind bender, 3-time felony offender, demented, brain cemented, mixed in the blender. Brain confusing court. Oh my God, you gotta listen to this again. That's just sick.
Once again, Mr. Mind Bender, 3-time felony offender, demented, brain cemented, mixing the blender, illusion, math confusion, question mark, cluesing, what, where, why, who's in, quiz, time to ask yourself who it is, shiesty be, you know, underhanded biz, invaded brothers' wigs. Can I live? Corrupting, bringing on the misery and suffering. Pain you couldn't cure with the buffering. Rotating, ridiculous, rapid fire riddle. Back, get trapped in the middle of the
Come on, kids. I can't believe you ain't stopped me. That's crazy.
Yeah, this as an MC, if we're talking about Wu-Tang, I'm kind of low. I'm kind of low on meth. Like meth is low. It's like easily accessible Wu-Tang. You know.
Once again, it's the mind bender. He's talking it now. He did this. He custom made this rhyme to fit what he had to do on the script. He had to do a soundtrack, some bars for a soundtrack for this cut. Once again, he's talking about the Riddler, and he's describing himself lyrically in this, talking about himself as a Riddler. Once again, it's the mind bender, 3-time felony offender, demented, brain cemented, mixed in the blender. And then you have to hear what he said after that, what's even more dope. That shit, I'm telling you, respect.
Invaded brothers' wigs. Can I live? Shiesty be, you know, under felony offender, demented. Once again, Mr. Mind Bender, 3-time felony offender, demented, brain cemented, mixing the blender, illusion, math confusion, question mark, cluesing, what, where, why, who's in, quiz, time to ask yourself who it is, shiesty be, you know, underhanded biz, invaded brothers' wigs. Can I live? Corrupting, bringing on the misery and suffering. Pain you couldn't cure with the buffering. Rotating, ridiculous, rapid fire riddle. Back, get trapped in the middle of the red.
That shit was stupid.
He's a dope MC, man.
That shit was stupid, man. That was absolutely stupid. For no good goddamn reason. He had to put himself in the mind of the Riddler lyrically.
That's how he would do it, bro. That's how he would do it. Matt's a dope rapper. Like he's a dope MC. My thing is that, like, if I'm talking Wu-Tang, I'm talking friggin' Ghostface Killer all day long. I'm also talking about Old Dirty Bastard all day long, because ODB is something else. He's just a different thing.
You about to stray off. I think respect needs to be given to this. Just imagine you're RZA. Here's the Warner Brothers studio executive calling you and saying, "Hey, RZA, I heard you're a hell of a producer. I hear you're hot. I want you to give us the soundtrack for the movie." give us a soundtrack. He produced the soundtrack. Not only that, but you need to give the title song of the soundtrack. I need you to produce that.
I don't think RZA did the soundtrack to that film.
Yes, he did. I know that.
I don't think
not
he
only
did.
that, listen, he called his go-to guy. He said, man, I need you to give me everything you got. Put yourself in the mind of this movie. So what they probably did was play some clips of the movie and gave him some kind of mindset to give him a baseline to go from. And the Riddler is a he tried to fuck you mentally, right? And so what lyrically what he just did, I think was elite. I'm just telling you, it's just absolutely elite stuff. But when you find out who made that soundtrack, you let me know. But let's get ready to get up out of here, man, because I have to. We've been on this motherfucker for almost 4 hours, and it was fun. And the Gimp is down there. Trip Voorhees been down there putting it on for us the entire show. How do you like that shit, man? But kids, I'm gonna wait till you give me a look up with your eye so I know you're ready to close this out.
Yeah, so RZA didn't like it's probably more Tim Burton than anybody else who I believe generally did soundtracks at that time for those
Burton
movies.
Is not a music producer, bro.
I know he didn't produce the song Riddler, like RZA did that. Elliot Goldenthal seems to have done the original motion picture score. I don't believe RZA did the whole Batman Forever thing. He definitely did this song
another time, man. But let's.
Anyways, Joe, shout out to you guys. Somehow we made it through this fun-filled musical conversation towards the end here without even playing my song. But we will leave it for next time, and we'll have to run it next time. Mental stamina, Jerry the Damager. Feel free to listen to it on your own out there. Big shout outs to all y'all MFs who jumped out. There goes FFG style.
Go ahead.
Method got the hardest flow. Jizza got the best lyrically. I agree. ODB the craziest style. I agree. Chef hard slang. I agree. Ghost best imagery. I agree. Yeah, well put, man. Deck straight bars. Master concepts. Yeah, and RZA best beats. Before I get off the Wu-Tang thing,
I gotta say, nice ass book you just read, FFG. Nice ass book.
You did a great job, right? Like you kind of put it all together pretty well. Master Killer, underrated member of the Wu. I believe he's only got one album, and it was towards the end of like Wu-Tang's popularity. But No Said Date's a really good album too. It flows awesome from front to back. Bang that if you get the opportunity. Anyhow, big shout outs to UFFG style. Big ups to my homie Stub Rock. Always awesome to have you chiming in, brother. Yo, like we've opened for some crazy folks out there. He definitely knows his hip hop like I do. So always good fun to have you out there, man. Mad love to you. The Naj was with us for quite some time tonight. Thanks for coming through, Naj. Mo Frugra, you're late, but we know you'll catch your son. You'll run it on replay later on. Big shout outs to you. Big shout outs to Marlon Johnson. Big shout outs to my guy Black Diamond. Petty, man, I hear you, bro, and right now we're rocking together. I'm hoping they get this whole Bear situation squared away sooner or later, and we've got a couple of weeks to really figure out what this team looks like. But only a couple more weeks till that trade deadline, so we'll see what Ryan decides to do between now and then. Shout outs to you, King Booker World, mad love, my brother. What it do, Joseph Archer? Always good to have you, my dude. Shout outs to all the Super No Maniacs out there. Big love to all of you. Thanks for representing along with us. And let me throw it down to my guy, Trip Voorhees. What it do, my brother?
Yeah, and before I say anything, like looking at the thumbnail, we didn't play any grave diggers, and that seems like a crime.
It does. It was a crime, actually. That's just a huge mistake.
What a missed opportunity. Better than that, man. You're right, man. That should have been. You're right, man. I can't.
We even went to Wu-Tang World and talked a whole bunch of Wu-Tang and totally skipped over the hardcore group of them all. What a mistake.
Yeah, because like that horror hop, bro, that was like some shit back then. But yeah, big up to all of the maniacs and like check, like they say I had hyperactivity, some shit, but I don't give a shit. So yeah, I keep it moving. So yeah,
2 cups of blood.
Style, that's where y'all can like check me and the crew out and like big up to everybody.
Man,
2 cups of blood.
Nice night, man. First ever Halloween special for some extra sauce in the Super No Maniac Lounge. Trip came and got into full character for us the entire show. So number one, let me take my hat off to that man right there for maintaining the position, man, for the entire show, man. Respect you like a motherfucking Trip, because I know you get into character and you mean it. And you do it for the right reason, man. I respect the shit out of that. And thank you, Kedz, for being here. And thank you guys for, the Super No Maniacs who aren't always 100% into the hip hop like we steeped in it. But thank you for the people that are and want to stay. And even if you're not into it, you stayed and wanted to hear what the conversation was about and actually learn something if you want to know. But thank you guys for supporting us and showing that kind of, the kind of heart and inspiration that we draw from hip hop is kind of unique, man. I think 3 of us together, I think we share that, man. And the fact that people want to hear it and want to share it with us, man, even if it's only so many people in the chat, only so many people doing the show. I don't give a fuck if we were just talking to 1 or 2 people. It's worth doing it because eventually when you're passionate about something, and you insist on putting it out there to the world and trying to share it with the world and making sure that those connectors are out there so other people can connect to it, eventually it's going to connect. So I know all we have to do is keep doing shows and just keep being willing to come out there and share this stuff with the world. And this is going to get better and better. I know that ahead of time. But I just want to say thank you one more time to everybody. Kedz, did you guys read really quickly? Did you guys read the description of the show? I bet you didn't. Because in the description, you're Kedz, Kount Kedz in the description of the show. In the show, you're Trips, Transylvania Trips in the show, just for the record. And I'm Nomad what is that? Nosferatu or something like that?
Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Kount Kedz.
Yeah, so check that out when y'all get a chance. Just read the description. I talked a Bears conversation, but I turned it into a Halloween conversation, just using my writing skills to be able to fit into the script of what we got going on. But again, thank you guys for showing up tonight. It was fun doing the show. I had a great time. I hope you guys, for whatever reason, if you came for the Bears conversation, I hope we gave you enough of that. And if you enjoyed the hip hop that we did tonight, gave you some nostalgia and made you want to check out some more stuff, I hope it worked out for you. But this was fun for us, and I just want to say thank you one more time. But before I leave, we got to make sure we leave you with these famous words. If you can think it and you can see it, there's no reason in the world why you can't absolutely manifest it. It's all in your mind. Don't be a prisoner of it. But with that being said, we are out.